say the color black without walking on eggshells?
I say hold up, cock my glizzy, bang, bang. I say hold up, cock my glizzy, bang, bang.
You're tuned into Foolery. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. And consider donating with super chats, stickers, memberships, or you can even gift memberships to other chatters. Or use the tips link in the description to write a message for TTS that will be read on stream.
Hit the like button, or you ain't black. And that's a fact. Jack.
Enjoy the show.
What up, fools? Today is 5/26/2025. It is 3:51 a.m. Eastern Time. How's everybody doing? Tom, it was starting to get rough when you were absent. Almost started watching Manar. Really, you would start watching Manar before you would just go over to TikTok? Really? You got some problems, Sparty. You got some problems, buddy. We had a wild stream over there last night, dude. There was some fucks who come over there. It's so wild that people who are willing to come over and like talk shit to me about my looks and shit while they talk like this and they'll, oh well yeah, well you're an egghead, Mr. Tomfoolery. And like, you talk like this and you're coming over here talking shit about me? Like, I'm not gonna make fun of you for talking like that, bro? Come on. You think I'm above making fun of a speech impediment if you're not above, you know, if you're willing to make fun of me for being bald over and over or whatever. These are immutable characteristics, all right? This is where it's, this is where you're crossing the line, baby girl. Why is she personally attacking me? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. So yeah, so we were live over there for a little bit yesterday. It was like 5 hours, and it was so stupid, dude. These fucking people. You could just shave your head too. Many men do that. Well, I'll consider doing that in the future. Maybe I'll just shave my head. You're not supposed to attack people's immutable characteristics? I don't know, dude. I don't know. That's what they're telling me. What the fuck? It's getting weird. I think they're taking this stuff too far. You can't even say anything these days, you know? You're not even allowed to say anything without getting in trouble. I'd be glad if I was bald. To be honest, then I don't need to cut my hair. Yeah. Well, maybe some laser hair removal in the future will get me to where I need to be, and yeah, maybe we'll go in that direction. But yeah, so lightning hit my house, obviously, the last time I was live, and the power just went out. I waited forever because the power just came back on within seconds. It was back on within seconds. And then when I tried when I waited for the internet to come back on, it just never came back. Just never came back. So I had to wait for a technician to come out. They finally came out today, and apparently it blew some like caps off of the wiring, and that's why the internet wasn't working. So over the last couple of days, I've just been going live through my phone or through my hotspot, whatever. And yeah, they just came out today and fixed it, and had to like reset everything up over the last couple of hours. So I've been connecting, you know, all of my lights back to the Wi-Fi, getting my Google Nest set back up. I actually had to do a factory default reset on the Google Nest because it was having too many problems. So yeah, it was having a lot of issues. Yeah, apparently Hasan got banned today and then got unbanned.
I wasn't expecting to make this video today, but breaking news.
I wasn't expecting to make this video today. He looks like Will Ferrell, where he's like, what do I do with my hands? What do I do with my hands? I don't know. I don't know where to put my hands.
I wasn't expecting to make this video today, but breaking news. Hasan Piker's been banned on Twitch. Now, I know he's been banned before, but I think this one's a little bit different. Now, for those of you that aren't very familiar with Hasan, he's a pretty prominent political streamer on Twitch, probably like the biggest one, you know? And he is crossing the line when it comes.
He has the old Nintendo 64 007 song playing in the background. You guys hear that?
And he is crossing the line when it comes to covering like terrorist stuff. You've probably seen him like here and there popping up in the news and stuff. But yeah, that's basically who Hasan is. And everyone has been really looking forward to seeing if Twitch is going to make a decision on this guy.
Bro, his mic is shit. Damn. His mic is shit, dude. It's having some real problems.
Because he keeps taking things further and further. Like, for example, covering and reading a manifesto of the shooter who just recently shot at the 2 people at the Israeli embassy. So, I mean, that's pretty gnarly. And it turns out that's the reason why he got banned. Let's take a look. First, this is what popped up. I mean, the streamer bans, they always let everyone know when someone that is a Twitch partner gets banned. And here is why it says he was banned. Now, this is really interesting. So first, I want to just read what the
Everybody on Twitch knows that they're not allowed to read manifestos from shooters. It's just a rule on Twitch that you're not allowed to do it. Now, people do it all over the place, especially political streamers. They do it all over the place, but on Twitch, everybody knows you're not allowed to read a manifesto from a shooter. So it's the goal and timer. The timer is up. Oh, I need to change the... Okay. Change the goal. There you go.
ban says. It says your Twitch account, Hasan Abi, has been temporarily suspended. Twitch is committed to keeping our community safe, blah, 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 blah. Based on a review of your activity, we have issued a global suspension on your account. As a result, the access to Twitch services is temporarily restricted. Here's the interesting thing, right? So I've seen a lot of bans on Twitch, and I've seen a lot of these messages about the ban. This one's like customized to not have an amount of time on it, and it's on a holiday weekend. This is a Memorial Day weekend, and Twitch doesn't really like to work on the weekends that much. So in order for this to go through, something from the top had to have got somebody to like go out of their way to make sure that this happens. Okay, now it says improper handling of terrorist propaganda, sharing content related to terrorist or violent extremist groups. Examples of violative conduct include, but not limited to, showing a violent extremist manifesto on stream while denouncing it. Super interesting language. What's the while denouncing it part? I've seen that clip, and
it says while denouncing it? That's weird. Okay.
it is, you know, you got to understand this guy speaks in code. Okay, so
I was gonna say, I thought from everything I saw, he sounded like he was kind of praising the guy. Did he actually even denounce it? I didn't see that.
his audience, which is very vast, they know that when he's like saying one thing, he actually means another thing, and they're like basically expressing what he really means with their comments in his chats. Look at any of his streams, you'll see he's saying one thing, and then there's like how everyone really feels and who he's catering to, what they're saying in the chat, and they know what he means. So I just think that this is really interesting while denouncing it.
Dude, it's fucking crazy when somebody like this guy, a normie, somebody who doesn't follow politics, somebody who doesn't actually engage in politics whatsoever, seems to understand dog whistles better than the leftists. How the fuck does he understand dog whistles better than leftists? This is getting weird, bro. This is getting weird. We're in backwards world right now, dude. This is so odd. We've got normies who understand dog whistles better than fucking leftists. This is getting so strange. What the fuck is happening?
I think it's a well-known fact Twitch very much favors Hasan on their platform, and they've been letting him get away with a lot of crazy stuff to a point where actually it's very much known that advertisers are like abandoning this platform, and it's in a place where it's like, dude, is like Amazon gonna like sell it? Is Amazon like, it's actually getting pretty crazy. The other reason is speaking out against terrorist organizations while displaying a recruitment video. So it's he's banned for speaking out against terrorist organizations. This guy's done nothing but support them. So there's something really interesting going on with this language. I feel like Twitch is only doing this because they absolutely have to. There's pressure coming from so high up that it is beyond probably any of the leadership at Twitch, and it's above Twitch. Amazon coming in saying, what the fuck, dudes, what are you doing with this guy? And the person responsible for writing this, the language is just super interesting here. I haven't seen anybody really bring that up. But yeah, so Hasan's explanation for this is, I covered the motives of the Israeli embassy staff shooter. Twitch TOS dictates a suspension for even critical examination of the manifesto. I believe this is a bad policy for news and press freedom. I'll take the suspension, but hope Twitch changes this policy in the future. Nah, like this is all bullshit, because he's getting banned because of liability. That's what I think is going on here. So by banning him, they can now like legally prove, hey, we have taken action on this guy at a certain point. You know, I think it could be argued against that there's not enough done on their part, and it was like too little too late kind of a thing. And I think that can also be argued legally as well. But that's what they're doing. So they're doing this because they have to. There's no amount of time on here. And I think that what they're doing is they are kind of waiting this out. So they're banning him for an unknown amount of time until things cool off. Maybe they can get some advertisers to come back to the site. And because without advertisers, the site's going to fail, and they're going to continue to bleed money from Amazon, and Amazon's going to get sick of it at some point. So it's, you know, in a position where they're pretty screwed at this point unless they make some serious changes. I think like just all the leadership of this company should be
I don't think that they actually have. I don't think they actually care about making money on Twitch anymore. I think that ever since Amazon came out with their, I forget what it's called, but they have the entire program for how people are capable of, all these other platforms are capable of using their coding in order to do like their, in order to host their streaming platforms. And that's how they make all of their money from streaming. That's how all of their money from streaming comes about. And so I don't think embedding, no, not embedding. They like Amazon, you know, they have their like streaming code, the cloud services. It's not the cloud services either. It's I don't know what it's called. You and I have specifically talked about it before, so I don't know. I don't remember, but yeah, it's from what I understand, that's where they make all their money, and that they don't actually care about making money on Twitch anymore. Like, Twitch is just clearly a platform that can't make money, and it's just kind of there as like a way for them to advertise for Amazon.
Fired. I think that most of the staff at this company should be fired. With the exception of like all the best people who are there to make Twitch as good as possible and not put their ideologies first and foremost in front of their work. But that's just the way I see it. You know, I think that's what I think would save Twitch. But yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting that this has happened. You know, things have gotten pretty hot, and now we just have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I think it was AWS. Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking of. Where people say stuff like this, where they're like, they're going to put their ideologies first and foremost and make it to where their beliefs are the thing that, like, every platform has an ideology. Every platform has some type of ideology to where they believe something. So to just say, like, they're putting their ideology first and foremost and blah, 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 like, yeah, every platform is putting, like, some type of ideology out there to an extent. It's just normally something that's going to appeal to the majority, but that doesn't mean that you can't have a platform that you're trying to build a certain type of ideology on. The weird thing is, though, is that you can't really say that because he gets away with a lot that they're like forcing this ideology on the people, when Asmongold is doing pretty well over there as well.
What happens? Are they going to unban him after a day? Or are they going to wait it out?
Yeah, it seems like he's already unbanned, from what I hear.
For you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Well, I can answer that for President. It's for him. No, seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'll do the answer. It will be.
Our president will respond to you.
Yeah, let me.
Thank you, Mr. President.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us on around a quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me. So it'll take him, President Trump listening to their stories, to their perspective? That is the answer to your question.
But, Mr. President, I must say that we have, wait. We have thousands of stories talking about it.
Sure.
And we have documentaries, we have news stories, and that. Is Natalie here, somebody here to turn that? I could show you a couple of things, and I have to, it has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure.
We have, let me see the articles, please, if you would, and turn the lights down. Turn the lights down, and just put this on. It's right behind you.
Turn the lights down. So they already had this planned. They already had this planned and ready to go.
Johan.
This parliament can do, with or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy?
You said it's just a leader of one of the smaller parties. Like, why are you showing me? Somebody said something. Okay. Like, this is weird. It is weird. It's like if you show, like, AOC saying something and you're like, she represents the whole country. It's like, well, it's just one person, dude. What are you talking about?
We are going to occupy land. Yeah. South Africa occupy land. That's who we are. Can we draw my membership from this useless parliament? Yes, honorable member. Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill. No answer. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer. Pa, pa.
I'm gonna get in trouble again for nodding my head to an extremist singing a song.
In PE is a white man. So these people, when you want to hit them hard, go after a white man. They feel a terrible pain because you have touched a white man. Not because Mashaba and Sunni will not be touched. They will be touched, don't worry. But we are starting with this whiteness. We are cutting the throat of whiteness. Shoot to kill. No answer.
Somebody requested up. What for? Hello.
Well. Is this the new failure of the Un-F America Tour 2.0?
Is this the failure of it? Is what the failure of it?
Am I looking at the beginnings of what is going to be the failure of the 2.0 Un-F America Tour?
I don't know. Go ask Un-F America. Where's that happening at? Where's that? Where's the involved? What do you mean involved? Like, am I part of the? Am I like a content creator? Are they going and getting people who have a couple viewers on TikTok coming to bring a bunch of people into the tour?
Have you been invited on the round 2 of what was the failure of round 1?
Not that I know of, no.
Not that you know of. I like that video that you displayed, though, that one that gave Donald Trump more credibility. You know, unalive the white farmers, take back the land, unalive the white farmers, as you were bobbing and weaving to it. That looked pretty good. I know you said you're going to get some pushback on that. Explain that to me.
Explain
what? Is this
what?
all propaganda? Explain this to me.
Explain what?
Explain why you're watching that video. You obviously don't like Trump, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty dumb video Trump's an idiot.
How is that a dumb video? How is that a dumb video?
Oh, do you know who that guy is? Do you know who that guy is?
He's the man that was in the in the White House sitting with him?
No, the guy who's on stage.
I don't really care who it is.
What do you mean you don't care? What do you mean? It's
some
playing
guy
the
that-
video. You just said it's
guy
cool that he's playing the video, that the video gives him credibility, but you don't even care who it is, huh?
What is the point of the video, genius?
I don't know. You tell me. What is the point of the video?
To incite violence?
Donald Trump's
upon
trying to incite
one
violence by playing the
group-
video?
To incite violence on one group of people? And you're bobbing your head, bobbing and weaving to it like it's a hip hop video?
That's he. What did he say that was trying to incite violence? And that right there, they were just
Unalive the white farmer?
yeah,
Unalive the white farmer?
yeah. And what was
What
the
did
song that
he
he was
say?
singing? What was the song that he was singing?
Dude, you better move to another subject, dude, because you're looking
No,
like
no,
a
no, no.
douchebag.
You came on. Don't try to run away. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So what was the song that he was singing?
You look like the lead singer.
Ah,
from
you're
Linkin Park,
moving to something else.
Unstable.
You can't. You
No,
don't
I'm
know
not.
anything
You said
about
what
this.
song?
Yes. What
You
was
said,
what
well, I'm
song?
giving you the song if you could shut it. You look like the guy from Linkin Park that unalived himself. You know who he was? Did you like Linkin Park? You look a little unstable to me.
What song was
If you're
he
going to
singing?
be bobbing for you, he was probably singing some liberal Eminem song. It's probably what you listen to.
What song was he singing?
Or Megan the Stallion bumping her ass or something.
What song was he singing? So you don't know. Just say you don't know. Just say you don't know anything about this. I'm happy to teach you about this.
Go ahead. Why don't you teach me about what he was singing?
Yeah, these were songs from apartheid, where they were at an anniversary for apartheid for some of these, and they're singing the songs from the apartheid and just celebrating the end of
Those are
apartheid
beautiful
in their
hymns.
country. And that's what some of the songs were about.
Beautiful hymns about unaliving, white people.
Yeah, some of them. But anyways, this guy is like
Yeah,
a part of
some
a
of
small.
them.
Yeah, some of them. So some of these are. So there's other videos that I've watched of him where he's like, they're asking him if he's willing to like denounce genocide against white people, and initially he says yes, but then he refuses to do it. But yeah, this isn't somebody who has power to actually enact the things that you guys are acting like he's already doing. He doesn't have the
That's funny,
ability
I
to
do
go
my
and
own-
do that stuff.
You know what's funny is I do my own lives, and I
Mhm.
had a guy cutting. This is not really about me, so I don't know if could you say it's anecdotal. I had a guy in my life. I would bring him up if he's available right now. He's a South African. He's from South Africa. He's of the group of these people that are being targeted, and he gave his actual testimony experience last night. As someone like yourself was laughing and mocking him about his life experience,
Mhm.
and it's absolutely despicable and disgusting. If he's available, I'll bring him up, and I would love for him to have a conversation with you, with this mocking spirit that you guys have. It would be beautiful.
I've talked to a
Because you
couple other
guys-
black people who said that they wanted all white people to die this week. So I'll be happy to make fun of him as well. But right now I'm dealing with your dumbass. So what evidence is there that
Dealing
there's some
with
sort of
my
like
dumbass?
genocide happening in this
Dude,
scenario?
listen to me real quick. You're an absolute fucking keyboard warrior with your douche flute in your mouth right now, okay? So I wouldn't be calling anybody dumbass. All right?
Why can't you actually engage with the points? You're a dumbass because you
don't
can't
have
engage
a
with the
fucking
points.
point.
Really?
You're a terrible TikTok person, dude, is what you are.
You're getting
You never
offended.
got
Why do I
properly-
intimidate you so
You
much?
never
Come on,
got
dude.
properly
Chill
disciplined by
out.
mommy and daddy.
Chill out. This is some fucking fatherless behavior here, dude. Just act like a fucking man. Engage with the points. Stop being so emotional. Let's go. Engage with the points. What is he doing to make a genocide happening? What is he doing to make a genocide happening? What is he doing to make a genocide happening? What is he doing to make a genocide happening? What is he doing to make a genocide happen? Let's go. Engage with the points. The last chance.
Oh, you're giving me the last chance. This is your way or the highway, right?
Moving on.
The brewer, the farmer, the brewer, the farmer. Pa, pa, pa. Shoot to kill. Hamasa. Kill the brewer, the farmer. Kill the brewer, the farmer. Pa, pa,
I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm saying to you, was not God for the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't guarantee the future. Yeah, but you'd understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on Twitter. They freak out. It sounds like a genocidal activity.
How do I put this back? I don't like that this changes on TikTok to kind of like move around. I want to put it back to the way that it was before. I hate the way the fucking screen changes on here. This is obnoxious. Liam, why are you requesting back up? You could have just talked to me when you were on here the first time. I'm not talking to your dumbass. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Yeah, this guy's a joke. He can actually explain his points and go over evidence. That's dumb. What a joke. What kind of guy actually knows what the fuck he's talking about? Lame as fuck, dude. What the fuck, bro? I provided evidence and context on Discord and a comment on your previous live stream. And you're still repeating this. Okay, I haven't seen it. If you want to send it to me, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Oh.
Who will expropriate land without compensation, whether they like it or not. If they object, they can seek refugee in America.
Now this is very bad. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Each one of those white things you see is a cross, and there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers, the family of white farmers. And those cars aren't driving, they're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who was killed. And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it. Both sides of the road, you have crosses. Those people were all killed.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? No, I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen.
Hello? Ashley?
Hello.
What's up?
Hi, honey. I just wanted, are you talking about politics?
Yes, I'm talking about politics.
Okay, do you support President Trump or not?
Definitely not.
Why would that be?
Well, right now we're going over the fact that he's trying to claim that there's a white genocide in South Africa.
Isn't it okay that we can help others out?
Yes, why would we, if we want to help others out, why would we get rid of all of the different types of refugee status for all of these other countries of brown and black people, but then all of a sudden we give new refugee status to white people who are not in nearly the same dire circumstances as everybody else?
Well, I mean, listen, that's just one thing, though, honey. We got to look at the full picture now.
Wait, no, that is the. What do you mean? I just gave the full picture that he's taking
Well,
away
but this
refugee
is just
status from
one
all
thing,
these other
honey.
people. Yes, this
It's
is
just
one
one
thing.
thing, honey.
This is one thing,
Yeah.
and then all of the other people that he's taking away refugee status makes a
Well,
more
I
full
personally
picture.
voted for the economy, honey.
Okay, so what?
Well, I mean, this is the thing, but like, I really, honey, I've been struggling on Medicaid out here, and I just need my prices to be lower.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that's why I voted for Trump. I mean, I don't agree with everything Donald Trump's doing, but
Well, you just said that. Shouldn't we want to help people? Like, the point that you made
I
was
do
about
like
this.
to help people. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and
I
so
mean,
you.
can we talk economy? I mean, I don't know. What do you know? Why
I guess.
why don't you like Trump?
Why don't I like what?
Why don't you like Trump?
Well, for a lot of reasons. I don't think he knows what the fuck he's doing. I don't think he's. I think he lies a lot. I think that he's.
And you do? What do you know?
I know that there's not a genocide in South Africa, is what we're talking about right now. But we can talk about other
that's
things.
just one thing.
What do you think he's doing that's going to be so beneficial?
I personally, I think the tariffs are going to be great for this country.
All right, cool. Well,
I mean, simply because, like, listen, Russia has the lumber we need from Canada, honey. Like, I know we have different types of lumber, of course, but
okay.
But, okay,
I mean, it's in South Africa. That's where.
we need to find out. I don't know. Huh? I don't know. Okay.
Was she trolling? Yeah, Trump voters aren't that fucking stupid. There's very stupid Trump voters, just not that dumb.
Mr. President, the Pentagon announced that it would be accepting a Qatari jet to be used as Air Force One. Perhaps
What are you talking about?
We need to.
What are you talking about? You know,
the Pentagon.
you gotta get out of here. What does this have to do with the Qatari jet? They're giving the United States Air Force a jet, okay? And it's a great thing. We're talking about a lot of other things. It's NBC trying to get off the subject of what you just saw. You are a real, you're a terrible reporter. Number one, you don't have what it takes to be a reporter. You're not smart enough. But for you to go into a subject about a jet that was given to the United States Air Force, which is a very nice thing, they also gave $5.1 trillion worth of investment in addition to the jet. Go back, you ought to go back to your studio at NBC because Brian Roberts and the people that run that place, they ought to be investigated. They are so terrible the way you run that network. And you're a disgrace. No more questions for me. Go ahead.
You're a disgrace.
Go ahead, talk about that. His name is Peter something. He's a terrible
If they're
reporter.
committing genocide, why invite them to the White House? I'll be quiet.
Quiet.
Sure, that's my question now.
Let's go.
What the fuck, dude? You won't even let the guy ask the question.
Thank you so much, President Trump. Annika Larson from ENCA in South Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank
for
you very
hosting
much,
us.
dear.
What would you like President Ramaphosa to do about the situation?
I don't
we've just
know.
seen on the screen?
I don't know. Look, these are articles over the last few days. Death of people. Death. 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 Horrible death. Death. I don't know.
But you know that
Pick
they're
anyone.
I don't know.
White South Africans are fleeing because of the violence and racist laws. And this is all, I mean, I'll give these to you.
No, I'd like
So
to-
when you say, what would I like to do? I don't know what to do. Look at this. White South African couples say that they were attacked violently.
President Trump, when will you go and see for yourself if it is?
Well, I could do that. Look, here's burial sites all over the place. These are all white farmers that are being buried. And he asks about a jet that was given. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You know, you
These aren't even from South Africa. Where are they from?
are so bad. You're such a bad reporter.
If they're committing genocide, why invite them? So if they are committing genocide, why invite the South Africans? Go right on.
May I finish, please, President Trump? Mr. President
This
Trump,
is one after another. This family was wiped out. I'm just looking.
Can we get a President Ramaphosa, can you give us your reaction to those videos, Mr. President?
President Trump.
The Congo?
I think the videos are so... No, when you look at the videos, I mean, how does it get worse? And these are people that are officials, and they're saying that kill the white farmer and take their land. That's what it is. And I have other friends in South Africa. I have people that left. One in particular that says you can't go there. He said they want to take your land. They take your land and they kill you. It's okay, and they say it's okay to do. Now we're going to talk about it.
We're going to.
But this is a tremendous look. This is a story recent. These are all people that recently got killed.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it can get any worse. These are and you know, the men that you saw, the people that you saw in that movie, those are officials. Those are people that were in office. They had one march, they had a dance in your parliament, whatever you may call it, legislature.
But let me clarify that.
Yeah.
Let me clarify that, because what you...
They had a dance in your parliament? Wait. Is he thinking of New Zealand right now? Did they do something in... Did they do something in the parliament that's incorrect? No, he's not. Wait, how... He is correct. Wait, why did you say incorrect and now you're saying he's correct?
You saw the speeches that were being made. One, that is not government policy. We have a multi-party democracy in South Africa that allows people to express themselves, political parties to adhere to various policies, and in many cases, or in some cases, those policies do not go along with government policy. Our government policy is completely against what...
I don't know what building it was, but he's talking about the clip he played. I thought all the clips that he played were from like stadiums and rallies and stuff like that.
He was saying, even in the parliament, and they're a small minority party, which is allowed to exist in terms of our constitution.
But you do allow them to take land.
No.
You do allow them to take land.
Nobody can
take land. And then when they take the land, they kill the white farmer. And when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens to them.
No, there is
nothing happens to them.
There is criminality in our country. People who do get killed, unfortunately, through criminal activity, are not only white people. Majority of them are black people. And we have now been utilizing...
The farmers are not black. I don't
now
say that's good or bad, but the farmers are not black. And the people that are being killed in large numbers, and you saw all those grave sites. And
yeah, there's not a disproportionality from anything that I've seen for white people versus black people. Like the white people are not disproportionately being killed in South Africa, but they all look at these like numbers of people dying, and there's a lot of people dying. There's a lot of people who get killed, as he said. There's a lot of criminality, but there isn't this like huge disparity for white people to where you would make a big deal about it. But they care a lot about the white people who are being killed, and really not anybody else. But if you want to give them refugee status, that's fine. Don't take away refugee status from all the other people who had who had all of the who had refugee status before and also had like reasons for needing the refugee status. Like, it just doesn't make sense that you're going to be so worried about this one group of people. I don't know how the fuck to like get my my layout back the way it was before. I hate the way that this does this. Now that I streamed on my phone, like my whole layout's fucked up.
And those are people that loved ones going, I guess on a Sunday morning, they told me, to pay respect to their loved ones that were killed. Their heads chopped off. They died violently. And You know, I mean, we're here to talk about it, and I didn't
we
know
will
we'd get
talk about
involved here. But I will say this, that if the news wasn't fake, like NBC, which is
The
fake
fake
news, totally
news.
one of the worst, ABC, NBC, CBS, horrible. But if they weren't fake news like this jerk that we have here, if we had real reporters, they'd be covering it. But the fake news in this country doesn't talk about that. They don't want to talk about it, but now they have to talk about it. But they won't. This won't even be a subject. They'll have him talking about why did a country give a free, think of this, why did a country give an airplane to the United States Air Force? Okay, the United States, not to me,
What?
to the United States Air Force, so they could help us out because we need an Air Force One until that's Air Force One, it's being built, 2 of them being built. But Boeing's a little bit late, unfortunately. So why did they give us a plane to the United States Air Force? That's what that idiot talks about after viewing a thing where thousands of people are dead.
I'm sorry, I don't have a plane to give you.
I wish you did. I take it. I would take it. If your country offered the United States Air Force a plane, I would take it.
Okay. But coming back to this issue, which I really would like us to talk about. And
What
talk
a
about
fucking
it
weirdo, dude.
Very calmly. We were taught by Nelson Mandela that whenever there are problems, people need to sit down around a table and talk about them.
Well, there are
And this is precisely what we would also like to talk about, including, of course, trade matters, investment matters. So the issues that concern you as the United States.
Those are all recent. Those are all deaths.
Yeah, in many ways, I mean, one should say you are a partner of South Africa, and you are raising concerns, and these are concerns that we are willing to talk to you about. Let me just add quickly, you know, the criminality that we are experiencing in our country needs quite a lot of technological capability. And in one of our areas in South Africa, we're using US technology, which is able to, in many ways, identify where shootings are happening and all that. And I'd like to talk about that because there is support that we can get from you as the United States to help us deal with all these acts of criminality. And that is what I believe partnership is all about. And we are here as a partner so that we can help each other whenever there are challenges. So I'd like us to discuss it, and of course outside of the media, so that we sit down and have a really good discussion that will lead to good outcomes.
Are there any other punitive measures that could be in place should you not be satisfied that South Africa is fixing some of the very bad things, in inverted commas, that you tweeted are happening?
Well, there are a lot of bad things happening in many countries, but this in particular has been very, very bad, very bad. And because of, we're going to have the whole world watching in another short period of time because you have the G20, and that's a big deal. And it seems like, I mean, I want you to look good. I don't want you to look bad.
Very good.
But we have hundreds of people, thousands of people trying to come into our country because they feel they're going to be killed and their land is going to be.
I was watching a couple of videos where they were posting this, and they're like, Trump plays a video of this guy to his face, calling him out for the horrible things that he said. Like, it's not him, homie. Not him, homie. Not this guy. It's very different black guy. You might think they all look alike, but yeah, not this one. It's very, very different one.
Confiscated, and you do have laws that were passed that gives you the right to confiscate land for no payment. You can take away land for no payment.
I want to clarify that because we have a constitution. Our constitution guarantees and protects the sanctity of tenure of land ownership, and that constitution protects all South Africans with regard to land ownership. However, we do say, because we've got to deal with the past, the government, and as your government also has the right to expropriate land for public use.
And you're doing that.
And we've never really gotten underway with that. And we are going to be doing so.
You're taking people's land away
we have not.
From them. And those people, in many cases, are being executed. They're being executed. And they happen to.
When he says you're taking their land away, does he think the government is taking it from the white farmers and just giving it over to the black people? Tom, you need to be more interesting. Allison is losing interest in you since Liam destroyed you. That's rough, dude. That's fucking rough. Who's Allison again? Which one was Allison? Was that the one that came on last night?
To be white, and most of them happen to be farmers. And that's a tough situation. I don't know how you explain that. How do you explain that? They're taking people's land away, and in many cases, those people are being executed. And in many cases, it's not the government that's doing it. It's people that kill them and then take their land, and nothing happens to them. But we have thousands of people that want to come into our country. They're also going to Australia in a smaller number. But we have thousands of people that want to come into our country, and they're white farmers, and they feel that they're going to die in South Africa, and it's a bad thing. Yeah, please.
That's funny.
China is putting gay chemicals in the vapes, coupled with fruity pina colada flavoring agents. Many nicotine enjoyers in this country are on the business end of an all-out circus of predatory endocrine warfare. Life isn't meant to be a strawberry margarita sideshow for flamers, okay? So my team and I have partnered with Tucker Carlson and Alp Pouches to help pivot away from the blight of vaporized Chinese homosexuality. Questions?
Yep, that's why I vape. That's why I vape so much. Trying to get to the sweet spot. You got to get right there.
I am Mike Tyson, a fighting legend and arguably the baddest man on the planet. Thank you so much.
This is so good, dude. This is so fucking good.
For coming on today. Hey, thank you so much for having me in the podcast. I've always wanted to ask you, when you were opposite your opponent, was it just about winning the fight even by points, or was it always about getting that knockout?
Lex, if you're in the chat, tell me. This is a good impression, right? This is good shit, yeah?
No, I wanted to kill him. You mean like kill his capacity to hate so that he only had the capacity to love? No, I mean I literally wanted to kill him and take his soul, you know. Was that nature or nurture? Hey, listen, before any fight that I ever went into, Cuss used to told me, used to say, go take his soul. That was Cuss, you know. It's interesting to me that you wanted to take his soul, because I just wonder if it's possible that on some level you wanted to do that so that you could cleanse his heart of hate. No.
Oh, that's so good, dude. That's so fucking good, bro. That's exactly what Lex would say, too. He would try to, like, twist everything they say, where they're talking about, like, I want to kill him. He's like, I think you want to kill him because I think you maybe want him to go to heaven so that he can enjoy the eternity with our Lord and Savior.
I wanted to rip his heart out and feed it to him. You mean heart as in the heart emoji for love? No, I'm totally serious right now. A lot of people online will think that I'm naive for asking this, but am I incorrect in thinking that when
Mike Tyson really does make all these fucking noises too. Good early morning, Mike Ball. Thank you for the $4.99. Let's fucking go, boy. I gotta turn all the donos back on. I'm sorry. Let me turn the TTS on. The other day there was some little whiny baby soy beta liberals on here whining and crying about my TTS, so I had to turn it down. But yeah, Mike Tyson, I think it's from the shrooms, but it always like he's always got these sounds coming out while he's talking.
Evander Holyfield's ear, you were actually trying to whisper some words of meditation and peace, but that his ear got stuck between your teeth? I was trying to I was trying to take his head off. Can you steel man the case for the existence of an alien version of Evander Holyfield? I don't know, but listen, maybe you're an alien. Sometimes I wish that I was. It's impossible to know. You know, maybe you were sent here by some distant alien civilization to study humans. Geez, there's something powerful and beautiful about that line. Do you mind if I tweet it real quick? This podcast makes me emotional. Thank you for listening to my conversation with Iron Mike Tyson. To help support my content and help my page grow, please like, leave a comment, share, and most importantly, follow. And now, I'd like to leave you with some wise words from Mike Tyson. Everyone has a plan until they get kissed on the mouth. I love you all.
That's not what he was saying. That was not it. Okay, let's see. I got that one. Oh wait, no. I turn that back now. Okay. Super chats. All right, let me see if I can run these back. Nope. Can't pull them back up. All right, let me run through the super chats real quick. Let's see. I read CCA's. Hey, it's Allison. I know you're watching. Tom Strawman from TikTok. You should debate Manar reports. By the way, the caller, it's Allison, is trolling. Okay. I think, yeah, I figured it was somebody like that. They got the voice like this for Tom. Did you just say it? Did you just say Negro? Oh, looks like my live access removed. I just got suspended again for some reason. Hate speech? What the fuck? Yeah, I just got suspended on TikTok again. Because I talked about drugs and other things that was already restricted, and then I got suspended for talking about for hate speech again. That word again. What word? What did I do? What did I say? It's probably the word. What word? What did I say? The N-word? I didn't say the N-word. What do you mean? Oh, no, I hadn't even said it yet. I hadn't even said it yet. I had already gotten... Yeah, you know what you did. You probably said soy. Yeah, probably. Maybe that's what it is.
If you were president and you could take 3 things out of existence, what would they be? Guys, I post one freaking video about what you want to get rid of if you were president. Almost every comment said black people. If you were president.
Good morning. I'm Abby Phillip in New York. If you wave at the camera while shoplifting, is it a crime? In MAGA world, apparently not. That observation from journalist Dave Weigel defines Trump's for a week after a trip filled with diplomatic progress. It was instead dominated by the president accepting a free luxury jet from Qatar, a nation that he once called funders of terror. Trump says that only stupid people would reject such a gift, but those people include many members of his own party. Heck, the 2016 version of Donald Trump thought that as well.
Saudi Arabia giving $25 million, Qatar, all of these countries. You talk about women and women's rights. So these are people that push gays off buildings. These are people that kill women and treat women horribly, and yet you take their money. My goal is to keep foreign money out of American politics. Hillary Clinton's goal is to put the Oval Office.
And then he also signed a bill to make it easier for politicians to accept money from foreign politicians and foreign entities. So, cool story, bro.
Is up for sale to whatever country offers the highest.
Sorry, did I say sign the bill? Sign an executive order.
Price.
Now, this is hardly the only action that's blurring the ethical, legal, and moral lines of a presidency. His crypto ventures, his meme coin and private dinners, his son's billion-dollar deals with nations the U.S. does business with. And yet, the Speaker of the House says if you can see it, it's all good.
The reason many people refer to the Bidens as the Biden crime family is because they were doing all this stuff behind curtains, but in the back rooms. They were trying to conceal it. President Trump is doing is out in the open. They're not trying to conceal anything.
But, Mr. Speaker, the investment in the meme coin, those folks are not transparent. We do not know who those people are.
I don't know anything about the meme coin thing. I don't know. I can just tell you that, I mean, President Trump has had nothing to hide.
I love the kind of two sides of the coin here for Republicans. It's always, I don't know anything about that, but I can just tell you that they're being extremely transparent. I don't know, is transparency the antidote to corruption?
Can I just go back a second? The follow-up question there is, are you saying that what he is doing right now in the open, are we listening to the same thing? Like, you just admitted that he's doing it in the open, so it's okay to do it in the open? It's still screams of impropriety, smells of it, right? So the follow-up question has to be a lot more rigorous, but I do agree with what you're saying. Republicans have been getting asked this a bunch now, and everyone has to go back to their talking points about, look, the jet, he is flying on an older White House plane. Yeah, that's conflating two different things. We can talk about the plane separately, but right now he would be receiving a gift, and it would scream of impropriety, and also, as other law enforcement officials have said, they'd have to sweep the plane. There could be something underneath.
We keep coming back to this sort of divide. This is not an ideological issue.
Correct,
There's no
correct.
reason why the right or Republicans should be like, this is fine. This is clear corruption. This is emoluments. This is against the Constitution. This is just the process of running government. And it's like the due process issue, which is also not ideological. The right should agree we should use the courts before we throw people out of the country. But we keep arguing about process, and the right follows him. So they're like Trumpist, and we're like pro-Constitution, pro-democracy, anti-fascism. Just follow the Constitution. This should not be an ideological issue.
I feel like this is where I have to say, even Ben Shapiro, because even Ben Shapiro thinks that perhaps this may be across the line.
Yes, I think inherently it is bad. I do not think this is good. I think if we switch the names to Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, we'd all be freaking out on the right. Let's say if Qatar was giving Joe a $400 million jet for his use at his presidential library after his presidency, or if Hunter launched a crypto firm with the son of Antony Blinken and then launched a series of crypto products in which mysterious strangers, including foreigners, were investing, all while that crypto firm was being regulated by Joe's administration, we'd all have been pretty upset on the right.
I have nothing else to say, because I think that lays it out pretty clearly what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
he's absolutely right. I mean, listen, another element that you can't ignore in this is the Qataris basically house Hamas, and they shield their finances, which are used for international terrorism, which have been used to wage this war against Israel, one of our closest allies in the Middle East. So way to step on your own message, Donald Trump. You just got Elon Alexander, the last remaining American-Israeli hostage, back in the same day you're taking Qatari blood money.
Yeah, the only way you should take the plane is if all the hostages are on it.
and you know, I mean, the leadership of Hamas is three doors down.
But even when I was a White House official, we couldn't take a gift over $20, and even so, if it was, you had to report it to an ethics advisor, take an accounting of it. But we were also told, don't even take a pen from a foreign diplomat, a head of state, because it likely has surveillance technology on it. What it's going to take to go through this Boeing 747 and take out anything that could be surveillance technology and pose a national security threat, it's going to cost so much money.
Well, part of what we did this week, Hamas, we negotiated with Hamas. The plane could be a gift for that. It's probably a gift for the business that he's doing there, but it could be a gift for that. Qatar does fund Hamas, right? I mean, they would consider them a freedom fighter, right? Not.
But you're not suggesting it's a bad idea to have gotten Edon Alexander out of.
No, of course, that specific part of this is a good idea, but we don't.
Getting him out is one thing. Having Qatar give us gifts for these engagements is another thing.
Negotiate with terrorists. So if we negotiate with them, then they are not terrorists. And I'm sure that Israel would not appreciate that conversation.
Well, again, all I care about is do those hostages come home back to their families, and do the ones that have been killed get to bury their remains in a dignified way. And I don't think the families care. You know, also you have to say that Donald Trump is.
I think we gave up on the we don't negotiate with terrorists thing a while ago. Pretty sure we got rid of that idea. I don't think that's a thing anymore. Am I crazy?
Made a pretty high priority of getting American hostages home, more than Joe Biden did, more than Barack Obama did, more than he did in his first term. And I think we ought to give him credit for that.
I have to say, to be honest, that's not actually accurate. I mean, Joe Biden brought a lot of Americans home, too. And frankly, the people working on this are not people who are like stamping R's and D's next to their name, okay? They're not doing it for partisan reasons.
And the presidential. For this.
I just have to say that because I know some of these people.
You're just gonna move on without looking at what you said was wrong. You asked me to send it, I did. Yeah, yes, I am going to move on without looking at, but yes, I will look at it. I can't have TikTok and OBS and Discord up all at the same time, so I'm not able to open up Discord. But now that I'm banned from TikTok, yeah, I just opened it up a minute ago and I pulled some of it up.
I've talked to a lot of them. They are not partisan people. They are people who are fighting every day to
Would
get
you agree
Americans
he has
home.
prioritized it and he's had success at it?
He's prioritized it for the people that he's brought back so far in his.
Why can't we just say yes?
Term.
He's prioritized it and he's done a good job.
Guess what I'm saying is Joe Biden has brought a lot of Americans home too. It's just that you didn't pay attention to it because
it's not a running scoreboard.
Yeah,
it's not a tally.
But okay,
we're just trying to bring people back.
Here's the thing. Okay, I have to say about this crypto thing. This crypto thing is 1,000 times bigger and more significant than the plane. The plane is crazy and weird in a way because Trump just likes nice things. But the crypto thing is a massive, perhaps multi-billion-dollar scheme to make tons of money for his family while he is in office that he is actively participating in, and nobody's saying a word about it.
Well, we're talking about it, but this is just give me money just because you like me, or you might have a chance to meet me, or even tour the White House. This is completely inappropriate. This is selling the presidency and privatizing the presidency, making money off of being the president. You are not supposed to make money off of being the president.
And look at the hurdles that we're all doing right now, the mental gymnastics that we're all doing, even though we all are in agreement, like that this is wrong. And so it's incumbent upon us as media, whether it be independent media or part of this network, we have to start asking the questions and framing them in the correct manner. Mr. President, this is inappropriate as Teray said before, as per the laws of this land. Like, do you understand the impropriety here? Do you understand that you're asking? Like, we have to start. No, I don't think they get asked rigorously enough, though. That's the problem.
The media, we are asking the question. The problem is the corruption and the unethical behavior.
I also think that the question is about the mechanisms of enforcing the law, right? So, I mean, if Congress says, oh, nothing to see here, then there's not a whole lot left that people can do. And I'm just wondering about, like, do you think at some point somebody has to say to the president, this has to stop? Or is that just not going to happen and they're just going to pocket all of this money?
Well, I think he's going to continue on with his private business in the way that his family has always done their private business. They're in the development business, for instance. I think that's
not in the development business. Hold on.
I
think the crypto stuff is not real estate.
By the way, I don't think you should do the meme coin, but I'm a critic of a lot of crypto cryptocurrencies. I think the President of the United States and the Congress of the United States ought to be trying to promote the dollar as the store of value worldwide, and not. And I'm a crypto skeptic, so I'm certainly a skeptic of a meme coin by any celebrity, much less the President of the United States. So I think that's a bad idea. But I think the Congress is focused on plenty of other things. I mean, the Congress is focused on reconciliation bill. They're focused on foreign affairs. I don't think it's really high on their list.
If I could just mention on the meme coin aspect of it, listen, it doesn't feel like draining the swamp. There's obviously the pay-for-play access of it. But I'm also frankly offended by some of his die-hard followers who don't have a lot of money to spend, who fell for the scheme and are not making money back on it. They're not getting something out of it the way the Chinese investor who's going to want an ask down the road does. It just feels like taking advantage of the very people who put you into office.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of money into this meme coin, and when the value drops, which inevitably it will, they're going to lose their hats in all of this.
Okay, let's see.
On to new fallout now from Donald Trump's contentious Oval Office meeting with South Africa's president earlier this week. During that meeting, President Trump held up some printouts of news articles and images that he claimed were evidence of a genocide against white South Africans. Well, as Reuters reports, one of the images is actually from Reuters' video of a mass burial in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It does not depict dead white farmers in South Africa, as Mr. Trump and the White House claimed in front of the South African president and in front of journalists in the White House. For more now, let's go to CNN's Larry Maddow joining us from Nairobi in Kenya. This Congo confusion, Larry, how are people where you are reacting to it?
It is shocking to a lot of people because, as I said after that meeting, based on my own reporting in this region and especially from 15 years in South Africa, a lot of what President Trump used to justify this persecution and murders of white farmers was just untrue. And this is another evidence. When I saw him hold up that picture, I thought it looked familiar. We now know, and Reuters is confirming, that this picture of body bags is not from South Africa. It's actually from the Democratic Republic of Congo. It's from a mass burial in Goma, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, on February 3rd. And the Reuters video journalist Jafar Al-Katanti, who took that video, was surprised to see the president hold up that picture. It's a screen grab that links to a Reuters video from that day. It follows a big assault on that Goma city in the eastern DRC by rebels named M23, and that was the effect. A lot of people were killed on that day, the days before, and this was a mass burial that was carried out by the International Committee of the Red Cross. And
he did the MS-13 thing again, kind of. I mean, I don't know if he like changed the picture himself this time, but yeah, pretty similar.
Reuters were the only news organization that were allowed in to film that, so this picture does not depict the deaths of white farmers in South Africa, as President Trump led President Ramaphosa to believe. And the wider question, the point that President Trump was trying to make here, is that lots of farmers in South Africa are getting killed or getting executed, even though he used evidence that does not support that. That picture was from an American conservative online magazine that had talked about both Goma, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and South Africa. And the South African foreign minister was on Amanpour last night, and he brought some statistics with him.
In the last 4 years, 225 farm attacks, 101 farm dwellers who are majority black, 55 farm owners who are majority white. So that is a period of 4 years, and that does not represent a genocide. But it is still unfortunate. It will need to happen because any crime, it is a crime. And that's why the president then stated that we are dealing with a crime situation.
And that is the argument the South Africans were trying to make in the Oval Office. They have a crime problem, not a murder of farmers. In fact, farm murders, last year when we looked at it, 0.2% of the overall total pool, a small percentage.
Yeah, we've been here before. Donald Trump and his press folks using material out of context, so we can now add South Africa to the list. Larry Maddow, thank you so much for your reporting.
More on that contentious meeting between South African President Cyril Ramaphosa and President Trump from yesterday afternoon. You'll remember the White House played a video purporting to back up claims that Afrikaners in South Africa are victims of genocide. Mr. Trump showed a video of crosses lining the side of a road, claiming it was a burial site of murdered white farmers. It wasn't. Today, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was pressed about the video by NBC reporter Yamiche Alcindor.
The president showed a video that he said showed more than 1,000 burial sites of white South Africans that he said were murdered. We know that that was not true and that the video wasn't showing that. So I wonder, why did the president choose to show that? It's not true. The video was showing a burial site. It is unsubstantiated that that's the case.
No, it is true that that video showed the crosses that represent
what the president claimed.
The video showed images of crosses in South Africa about white farmers who have been killed and politically persecuted because of the color of their skin. And those crosses are representing their lives. Those crosses are representing their lives in the fact that they are now dead and their government did nothing about it. Are you disputing that there's no...
The fact that the video showed what the president claimed it showed, because it did not show that. But even more, what I'm asking you is who at the
No,
White
it did
House...
show that. It showed white crosses representing people who have perished because of racial persecution.
Verifies the videos that the president shows, and what protocols are in place when there's unsubstantiated information being put out for the world and world leaders to
Yamiche,
show?
what's unsubstantiated about the video? The video shows crosses that represent the dead bodies of...
That's it. The video just shows crosses that are a representation, therefore it's not unsubstantiated. Like, when we say thousands of crosses, how far back are we going? Are we going over the course of like 100 years there's 1,000? Or is it just deaths? Is it murders? Is it deaths? Is it genocide? Like, what are we talking about here? Is it just, you know, some of them got COVID and died and they get a cross? Like, what what exactly is it that it's measuring?
People who were racially persecuted by their government. In fact, the Associated Press, of all places, has a picture of that very monument, and the caption from the Associated Press is, "Each cross marks a white farmer who has been killed in a farm murder." So it is substantiated, not just by that video and the physical evidence that everybody saw on display in the Oval Office, but also by another outlet in this room, the Associated Press. So you should take it up with them if you believe the claim is unsubstantiated, and that's a ridiculous line of questioning.
Well, keep in mind, it's not what President Trump said yesterday. Let's listen to what he actually said.
These are burial sites right here. Burial sites, over 1,000 of white farmers. And those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Each one of those white things you see is a cross. And there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers, the family of white farmers. And those cars aren't driving, they're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who was killed. And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it. Those people were all killed.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? No, I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen.
Okay. I mean, it's in South Africa.
Well, the South African president there at the end asking where the burial site is because he'd never seen it. It's because it does not exist. It's not a burial ground. It's video from 5 years ago of a vigil created after a white farming couple was robbed and murdered. That was a tragedy, as is any murder. And the people actually who killed them were convicted of it. It was not.
So it was just for two people. Okay, so it was just two people. That makes sense.
Ignored. The killing shook the Afrikaner community, and a neighbor of the couple erected the crosses to honor them and other farmers who had been killed across South Africa. It's not a burial site, he told the BBC today, the person who made this memorial. It was a memorial. It was not a permanent memorial that was erected. It was a temporary memorial. Now, in addition to the claim of a burial ground, there was an article that President Trump held up as further proof of genocide of white farmers in South Africa.
These are all white farmers that are being buried.
Well, we tracked.
It wasn't for two people. What do you mean? Isn't that what he just said? They set it up for a husband and wife?
They told you.
Okay. I mean, it's in South Africa.
Well, the South African president there at the end asking where the burial site is because he'd never seen it. It's because it does not exist. It's not a burial ground. It's video from 5 years ago of a vigil created after a white farming couple was robbed and murdered. That was a tragedy, as is any murder. And the people actually who killed them were convicted of it. It was not ignored. The killing shook the Afrikaner community, and a neighbor of the couple erected the crosses to honor them and other farmers who had been killed across South Africa.
Oh, them and other farmers. Okay.
It's not a burial site, he told the BBC today, the person who made this memorial. It was a memorial. It was not a permanent memorial that was erected. It was a temporary memorial. Now, in addition to the claim of a burial ground, there was an article that President Trump held up as further proof of genocide of white farmers in South Africa.
These are all white farmers that are being buried.
Well, we tracked down the source of the image in that article, and it's actually not from South Africa. It is a screen grab of Reuters video from Goma in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and was from February when over 2,000 people were killed in clashes between the government and a rebel group. Now, the sick irony is that none of the black people fleeing violence or persecution in DRC Congo or anywhere else in Africa would be allowed into the United States right now as refugees. Only white Afrikaners, based on claims of a genocide, which is not actually occurring.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ronald here. So, because of the previous video that did so well with regards to exposing Julius Malema and the ANC for singing songs about killing people in this country, I thought that I'd just give you a couple of more examples. Now, please note, there are hundreds of examples, and it's not just Julius Malema singing this song. It's all of these followers in the EFF, but it's also other political parties. It is Mkonto Wesizwe, it is previously Black First, Land First. There are multitudes of black extremist political parties, communist, socialist political parties in this country that are literally singing for the killing of white people and farmers. So when they say kill the boer, the term boer is a derogatory term used by Julius Malema and them for white people. So I know the boer term in itself is not an insulting term, but the way that it's used by this chant is clearly used the same way that a white person would use the K word. That is, in essence, the point that they're trying to drive home. It's to dehumanize white people in this country. So I'm going to give you just some examples, because some people in the comments say, okay, Ronaldo, you are just giving us one example. No, you can go and Google it yourself if you think that I'm overhyping this. But let's listen to somebody that is not Julius Malema that actually said something far worse. So this is Andile Mngxitama, first from a political party called Black First, Land First, and now he is a member of parliament for the Mkonto Wesizwe party, which of course falls under Jacob Zuma. So have a listen to what he's got to say.
For each one person that is being killed by the taxi industry, we kill 5 white people. For every one black person you kill 5 white people. You kill one of us, we'll kill 5 of you. We'll kill the children, we'll kill the women, we'll kill anything that we find on our way. They kill one of us, we kill how many? They kill one of us, we kill how many? They kill one of us, we kill how many whites? We kill the children, we kill the women, we kill their dogs, we kill their cats, we kill anything that comes.
So just on that, women, children, dogs, cats, and this individual is a member of parliament, ladies and gentlemen. A member of parliament in South Africa. That's right. Here is the EFF singing the song outside of a court. Now, just a question. When you look at these individuals, do you want to tell me it's just a song? Do you want to tell me it's not absolute hatred? Do you want to tell me that there's not a possibility that one person in that crowd feels motivated to go and kill a white person after singing this song? Can you tell me with 100% certainty that that is not a reality? This was at the EFF conference. Thousands. Once again, I will ask, is there not one person in that crowd that was motivated to feel that they might go out and kill a farmer? Can the EFF guarantee not a single person there went out to kill a farmer?
Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act.
I mean, that speaks for itself, right? I mean, I don't need to add anything to that. Like, he's literally calling that the revolution of wanting land in South Africa, which, strangely enough, corresponds with the Expropriation Act that recently got passed by Cyril Ramaphosa and the GNU government. But hey, you know, it's just a song. So the EFF has got this mobile van that this thing that you see here, that they drive to community all across South Africa, and you can see they end off every single rally by singing these songs. So they literally sing it towards hundreds of thousands of people.
Shoot to kill, shoot to kill, kill them, kill the poor, the farmer, kill the poor, the farmer.
So just honest question, like, look at the amount of people here, look at the amount of people that you've seen so far that this song, it's not just Julius Malema and the people on the stage that's singing it, it's literally hundreds of thousands of people that are singing this song. And once again, the question is, do you not think that there are some of these individuals that take the words literally and then go and put action behind the words? And then this is the one that I did previously, but I just did it again to show how many people there were. I mean, that stadium is 90,000 people.
Alliance shoot to kill the mother, kill the poor, the farmer, kill the poor, the farmer. Brr, pa, pa, brr, pa, pa. Attention.
So, I mean, surely you're shocked by now, right? Well, have a look at this. So, you can understand, not really, but you can understand if people in their 50s or 40s or even 30s are singing that song because of this failure by the ANC government to improve their lives. I mean, there's no justification to sing songs about killing people, but you can like sort of rationalize it if you really have that warped mindset. But please explain this to me. This is children that has been indoctrinated. Listen to this.
I don't know, what is this just about the EFF? You already know that I agree with you that the EFF is like an extremist, like crazy fucking party that if they had their way, they would probably be killing people. I don't know why you sent me this one.
Yeah, I'm not going to monetize this video. The things I'm going to talk about might upset some people, fair warning, but there's no way YouTube's going to allow me to monetize this just because of the things I'm going to discuss. So I just wanted to say thank you for Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Every second of every day, hackers and scammers are searching for vulnerabilities on your computer or internet-connected device. Keeping up with internet security is exhausting, and just like Serial is a part of your computer, if you go to a different country, a little bit of security. Hey babe, I just got us 4 months extra.
I was at the campus and I got a phone call saying my aunt is coming to pick me up. And I said, okay, it's fine, you can come and pick me up, I'm waiting, and they just want to take me somewhere and everything. And then I started getting Facebook messages and WhatsApp messages telling me that from different people that how sorry they are to hear about everything that happened. And so I started to panic, and I called my aunt back, and she told me just my 2 grandparents are murdered. And so I came here, and when I got here, they told me my parents as well. So that's how I found out about what happened.
People in South Africa live in prisons. I'm talking electric fences, barbed wire, cameras, infrared beams, armed guards at the gates, a panic button in your house in every room, burglar bars, a gate in between the living room and the bedroom, just in case they do make it into your house. Well, at least they won't torture, murder, and rape you in your bed. Everybody these days lives in some sort of prison. And if you go out of this prison, it's like entering the Wild West. You know, you got to be careful. You could get chopped up with a machete. You could be hijacked. This is very popular. There's a bottleneck. You know, when you come home to these little prisons that you have to wait outside the gate while it opens, and that's why you never stop right in front of your gate. You always open your gate as you're coming down the road so that you can quickly enter and then close it behind you. Nothing's safe in South Africa, not even the plants. You know, obviously, I have to quickly explain some of the demographics in South Africa. You've got a very large population of very poor people that live in shanty towns. This is a mixture of black people, white people.
Tom, what you're getting wrong is that the EFF is not insignificant. So, the EFF is the 4th largest, I think, in Parliament. The 2 largest are the, what is it, the ANC, hold on, let me pull it up. It's the ANC and the DA. They've tried building a coalition with the ANC, but those negotiations keep falling through because of Malema. They have a coalition with the what is it, MK or MP, MK, MKP, yeah. And the MKP, as far as I know, I haven't seen anything where the MKP is called for like killing white people, but they do call for like removing land from white farmers and just giving it over to black people without any sort of compensation. They have they're like a radical progressive party, but yeah, we're talking about killing people. We're not just talking about we're not just talking about anybody who works with the EFF, right? Because the EFF, it's about whether or not Malema is capable of actually doing a genocide and getting away with it. And yes, if he has 10% by himself and then 25% with the MKP, but the MKP isn't even on board with him on the same thing, then yeah, it just doesn't seem like it matters that they work with other groups. They have coalitions with other groups, but those other groups don't seem to be working with them on what we're talking about. So it's not where you're just saying, oh, they have coalitions with other people. They're able to get some legislation passed, not the stuff that we're talking about. So you're bringing up like a bunch of irrelevant things to say, look, they're able to get some things through with these other people who aren't advocating for the same exact things as them. What do you mean MKP is run by literal gangsters? Like, I literally just finished explaining. If you don't have any disagreements with what I just said, then I don't know. They are in terms of policy. I'm sorry, I just don't know what that means. Like, I just finished talking about the MKP and why I have a disagreement with this. We're not just talking about whether or not they're able to get anything passed in any way. I disagree that they can't work together. I didn't say that. What do you mean? I didn't say that. Cesius, you keep arguing against things that I'm not talking about. That these are things that are totally irrelevant to what we're talking about. These are not relevant. We're talking about the like killing people, like a genocide. We're talking about killing white farmers. We're talking about those things. We're not just talking about whether or not they work with other groups. That's not what we're talking about.
And colored people. But of course, the majority of South Africa is black, so you'll see more black people in the townships than you'll see colored people or white people. This is a mixture of South Africans and illegal immigrants and undocumented people from Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Botswana, you name it, all of the neighboring countries, because of course, South Africa is still the richest sub-Saharan African country, and that's where people want to go for opportunity. The thing is, I wanted to talk about something completely different here. I wanted to put something to rest, something that really bothers me and annoys the crap out of me, and those are the people that think that the targeting of white people in South Africa for brutal crime is somehow justified. All you need to do is go look in the comment section of my last video and you'll see, of course, an overwhelmingly positive response. Thank you to everybody, and I must acknowledge that everybody who was supportive of me in that video. It's fantastic. I think South Africa does need as much support as possible, especially the ethnic minorities like the Afrikaners who are targeted for ethnic cleansing at the moment. And it's not a joke. But of course, you get the other side of the coin with a bunch of people trying to say that it's justified and you reap what you sow, and because of apartheid or because of what your people did to their people in the past or your family did in the past, you deserve it, or something along those lines. And that is a bunch of bullshit. There is no justification for targeting people based on their race for violence and for murder and for torture and for rape. There's no justification at all.
I'm sad and I'm angry.
I told you specifically on Friday that there is categorically no genocide, but 25% of our voter base vote for incitement to violence and stochastic terrorism that constitutes reasonable fear. Okay, maybe. Their government shouldn't have an issue condemning the radical groups. They haven't. They have. What's his name? Cyril Ramaphosa or whatever. He has condemned Malema. He has condemned Julius Malema. He has condemned these parties. He doesn't like them. So I don't know why. Like when you say like the government shouldn't have a problem condemning them, like who is it that you would want to condemn them when we're talking about their president? Like See, has condemned them. Like, who do you want to condemn them?
I'm very, very angry about it because you don't just do stuff like this. You can't just go to someone's farm and just start shooting them and taking their stuff and all. You don't do stuff like this. They were very, very good people, all of them. They were trustworthy and kind, and they were the loveliest people on this earth. And now they're gone.
And I can very quickly debunk this idea that it's justified for white people to be attacked. And
Tom, the ANC is refusing. I know. I just said that the ANC has been negotiating to work with them. CCS, why don't you listen to anything I say? What is happening? I don't know what's happening, CCS. You don't listen to anything I fucking say. I don't know what I'm arguing with. I don't know what you're arguing with. I don't know what the fuck your difference is here. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. What is happening? We're not disagreeing on anything.
And murdered and have their property stolen and so on in South Africa. Very simple. What if you had a tourist from a Scandinavian country, let's say, Norway, Sweden? They had nothing to do with apartheid, right? They had nothing to do with colonizing South Africa. What if they came on the plane and they landed for the first time in Johannesburg and they're like, wow, look, I'm coming for a safari or whatever tourists do in South Africa. They head down the road. Some guy spots them, some tsotsi see them in their car, in their rent-a-car or something, stopping off at a gas station or something. They decide to target them for crime, murder them, rape them, torture them, whatever you want. Did that tourist deserve it because of some unknown other person 100-odd years ago with the same color skin did something to someone else? No. And you know what? There's no way to discriminate between different races and backgrounds and whoever you are, so I should say nationalities, because you don't know where a white person comes from. It's impossible to say. It's very complicated for everyone. I mean, my family history is very complicated. My grandfather came down to South Africa as part of the Royal Air Force during World War II. Do you think he had anything to do with apartheid? You know, do you think he stole the land from the natives? Of course, the history of South Africa is a bit inconvenient if you actually look into it. If you go look at the real history, you'll see that a lot of the people, the Zulus and the Xhosas, etc., who are claiming that their land was stolen, well, they weren't even there at the time that the Dutch settlers arrived. It was just the Khoisan people. And there are treaties, signed treaties and documents.
Okay. Alright. I don't think I'm gonna make it to the whole fucking stream. I feel like shit. So I'm probably gonna end up just getting off after a little bit. I'm gonna run through some of this video.
We are now dealing with the reaction.
We tried watching this the other day, but we couldn't make it all the way through because the computer was just lagging way too much.
And not with the action that has led to it. When you're a white person in this country and it's, hey, you don't know the lived experience, but I know yours. When it's, hey, if you move into an area, that's gentrification. But if you leave, it's white flight. It's, hey, sit down and shut up, and then it's silence is violence. The only way to win is not to play, and so people aren't even talking.
Here you are, to me, I say this respectfully, sounding like a paid-up member of the woke right.
Let's talk real accountability for actions and not false accountability for words.
It's not the smoking gun that we think. White people don't lie about using the N-word. They lie about not using the N-word.
And the prescription is more dialogue and doing so in good faith rather than this word whack-a-mole that we're playing in this country.
When I challenged self-professed racist podcaster Lily Gaddis to show her true white supremacist colours during an uncensored debate a few weeks ago, it's fair to say it all kicked off.
I want to live in a country where people are allowed to say what they want unashamedly, and you will
well, go
not
on then,
have
say
free
it. Say
you
the
will
M
not have
Go on,
free
say
speech.
go on. Say the M word. Go on.
I'm not
No.
Don't invite. No. I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me because I'm the only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it.
Well, the fallout from that segment went viral, provoking debate from the big names online, including one Stephen Crowder, who called me out for being completely disingenuous for my challenge to racist Gaddis.
Big difference. So that challenge is not genuine. I do think that people shouldn't lose their livelihood or be condemned a racist for the rest of their life because they use a word in a context where there is no hate. That is not represented in the challenge of say it right now just because you want to say it to black people. And then you have Mark Lamont Hill, who I've been on him with Reddit. He was always very nice to me. I mean, there's nothing more emasculating or self-emasculating than saying, someone will say a word and I will be the victim.
Well, I thought it was only fair and useful to have this out with Mr. Crowder, man to man. Of course he agreed, because he's a man. In a moment, we'll get Mark Lamont Hill's response to it as well. But first, Stephen Crowder. All right, Stephen Crowder, you're giving it to me. I think I'm the innocent pawn in the the whole saga here. I'm just the one sitting here listening to a very, very unpleasant young white woman being deliberately racist, unashamedly racist, wants us to think she's a racist, admits to being racist. And when you talk about context of using the N-word, she is using it in that context. She had no problem with it being used by Shiloh Hendricks. She has no problem with saying it. And my only point in challenging her to say it on air was, well, go on then. If you're going to be that brazen, let's see if you're actually prepared to do it. And it turned out she wasn't. Over to you.
Well, first off, thank you for having me, Pierce. I do appreciate it. And I want to be really clear about one thing. At no point in this conversation am I implying, insinuating in any way that you are racist, because I know how much of a powder keg this can be. Two white people, in our case, especially with you, two very white people discussing this topic. Look, the point that I was making, and I believe I said low down dirty trick. I don't think I just said disingenuous. And it's not about you with that specific person. It's about say the N-word. Say the N-word. And we've seen this used quite a bit. And the issue that I have here is I don't want to live in a society. Now, I'm not super familiar with this lady, okay? If you say she's a racist, I'll take your word for it.
Well, she admitted it. She admitted it.
Okay. But we live in a society where right now the racism issue and words are being thrown down as landmines as someone is walking in reverse. And you can look at, for example, I think we're all adults, context, and the level of affront, which is what I was addressing there with Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, who's been very much a gentleman with me, and I'll determine the level of authenticity as to that offense. I think we're adults and we can have context. I don't think that there are boogeyman words. I think context matters more. I think that we as a society right now are canceling livelihoods over someone saying a word and permitting reprehensible behavior in the form of crime, in the form of the protests that we have seen in the last recent years. And I think I'd like a society where we are hard on it.
What? I'm so lost on what any of that meant.
Actions and forgiving on words, and certainly in the context of adulthood, able to understand it.
Okay, so look, a large part of what you've just said, I completely agree with. I do think language has been weaponized. I hate cancel culture. I think it's the epitome of woke bullshit, etc., etc.
Like, again, like what they call like call out culture, cancel culture, these are all like the same exact things. Like, and Piers does a lot of calling people out for behavior that he finds to be reprehensible. But that is what like cancel culture is. These are the same things. If you're going to call people out for bad behavior and you're going to try to hold them accountable, that is the same exact thing as cancel culture. You're engaging in the same exact bullshit. So you can, if you are like, you know, openly condemning people publicly for bad behavior or for, you know, for bad character or whatever, you are engaging in cancel culture. But he'll always do this thing of, oh, I hate cancel culture. But in reality, he engages in it just the same as everybody else. This is the same bullshit that the right wing does all the time, where they always whine and complain about cancel culture, but then they'll turn around and freak out about the trans people at the Olympics and how horrible that was for them and all of the fucking trauma that they're experiencing from it. And they'll make a big deal about this and call out people, call out athletes, call out actors, and, you know, flood their timelines. And they're always the you know, people who are doing fucked up shit like this, and not fucked up shit. They're always the people who are calling out bad behavior. Everybody does this. Everybody does it. That's just what it is. And it's not this horrible thing. But even when you say like, oh, I think cancel culture is fine, you'll have a ton of people blowing up in your chat. Oh my goodness, I can't believe you just said that. Nobody should ever watch you. You idiot. You're a virtue signaler. You fucking nutcase, right? And they're all doing the same exact thing that they're mad at you for saying that you support. They're literally mad at you and canceling you for saying that you support cancel culture. Like, it is the same exact shit. It's just a bunch of fucking hypocrites who 1 minute act like they're above this, and while they're acting like they're above it, they're literally doing the same exact thing.
But rather like with free speech itself, when people say that free speech is unlimited, it's actually not unlimited. I mean, you could say whatever you want right now. It doesn't mean you won't be held accountable by others for what you say. So everything has consequence, right? I would never restrict your ability to say what the hell you like. That's fine. But there are limitations. The First Amendment in the United States Constitution is one of the most protective shields to free speech anywhere in the world. And yet it has a number, as you know, of exclusions of things that are not covered by the First Amendment. So I think this So this whole kind of when people say, well, anything goes, well, it actually doesn't anything go.
Well, hold on a second, like what?
Well,
like what exclusions? Because I think we need to define it. Like what exclusions? Are you going to do the fire in a crowded theater thing?
No,
That's not
I'm going to
speech,
do.
it's a call to action.
If you look up the First Amendment and look at the exclusions, you know, paedophilia, pornography, things like that are not covered by First Amendment protection rights.
That's not speech. That's not speech.
That is speech. What the fuck do you mean that's not speech? That is speech. What? You can what? That is obviously speech. Like pornography is a type of speech. Pornography is a type of it can be like a type of artistic thing. It can be entertainment, but it is like a way of like communicating information. It's a way of, yes, it's expression. It is something that you're communicating to other people. And if you do it, obviously that is something that is illegal. But like wearing a shirt that says Nike on it, that is expression. That is speech. It's not just freedom of speech, it's freedom of expression as well. It is freedom of religion. Like these are all within the same amendment, within the same wheelhouse.
That's where you're conflating freedom of speech and freedom of expression, which many Democrats have done in the name of modern art.
I'm talking about exclusions to the First Amendment protection.
We were just talking about freedom of speech. Pedophilia has nothing to do with speech.
Defamation is not protected by the First Amendment. Did you know that?
Well, actually, your ability to criticize someone is. The ability to lie about someone knowingly to cause damage is not. Again, this is an action.
Okay.
It's not about speech that offends people. And so I think we're largely on the same page.
Wait, nobody's talking about speech that offends people. But again, what we're talking about here is not a freedom of speech issue. Nobody's going to get arrested for saying the N-word. So saying the N-word is not, I don't know. If you guys weren't here yesterday, I was talking to someone, and there was a right-winger who came on and was saying that they wanted Trump to implement, like, Christianity into schools and make it to where kids were being taught Christianity again in schools. And I was like, yeah, I'm totally against that. Like, I'm more in favor of like freedom of speech. The Constitution says that no religion shall be respected above another. You can't just all of a sudden put one religion into schools and act like this is pro-Constitution. And she's like, yeah, okay, well, I'm like, I want the Constitution changed then. Like, this is a Christian nation, and we should have Christianity in our schools. I was like, okay, I don't know what that means. But then she's like, why? Like, what do you mean? Like, you're pro freedom of speech? Like, would you be okay with somebody saying insulting things? And I'm like, yeah. I don't like. You should be allowed to say the N-word. If you say the N-word, I think it's bad. But that doesn't, like, you can go and scream the N-word all you want 1,000 times. I don't think you should be arrested for it. I think that it's bad. I don't think you should do it. But I think that you have to have the freedom to do it in your, from freedom from arrest, freedom from persecution, freedom from the government. And there was some lefty on there, and they were like, no, I disagree with that. I think we should have hate speech laws. And then the right-winger was like, yeah, me too. I also think we should have hate speech laws. Like, okay, that's stupid. I can't talk to you people then. We do not share values, so. But yeah, this is like, these are different. Saying the N-word is not a freedom of speech issue. It's like, we're talking about culture. We're talking about moralities.
But hang on,
Sorry, morality, not moralities. I don't know why I added the S there.
Interesting point. But hang on, Stephen. Because look, if you lie, you're still exercising your right to free speech. But if you deliberately, willfully lie about somebody and cause them harm and damage that can be established in a court of law, and you are found guilty of defamation, you can't use the First Amendment as protection. We agree on that, right?
Of course, I understand that. That's not speech. That's not the point of the speech, right? For example, if I say, and I'm not saying this, let's say Kanye West's recent single, right? That's a problem. It's offensive. I think we would both agree that it's borderline, at least anti-Semitic. Would we agree on that?
Sorry, just say that again. I can be sure what you're saying.
Kanye West's recent song, right? His recent banger. We both agree it's at least on the line of anti-Semitic, right?
Yeah, I don't
think that anyone out there.
Yeah, listen, I think that a guy who has spent the last year is bestowing the virtues of Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, who's been selling swastika. No, but I think it's an important clarification.
Okay,
because
I agree with you.
I'll tell you why, because he would argue that the actual words of the record are not anti-Semitic, right? And it's hard. But the fact he's got millions of people running around chanting Heil Hitler, clearly, to me, is an extreme form of anti-Semitism by a man who knows what he's doing.
I agree with you, okay? I just wanted a yes or no because I wanted to get to the point, but I agree with you.
It's complicated simply because...
Well, it's not that complicated. It is
it's complicated
right?
because the actual lyrics, he would argue, are not anti-Semitic. He's trying to be clever, and I don't think we should give him the pass.
Okay, I agree. I'm trying to create a really, really blatant, obvious analogy here to make a point. So we both agree that it's anti-Semitic. I think it's bad. I think saying Hail Hitler is bad. Okay. That is not, however, a violation in any way. Your First Amendment protects it. Now, saying I would like to, I am calling you to enact what Hitler has enacted, that's a call to action. Defamation requires damages. And I want to get to this because this does matter. Okay? When we're talking about this new song, and as a comedian and as a linguist, I'm going to say the word here so that everybody knows, and that's what you're going to clip. We're looking at words that are offensive, a song that is offensive, but one is a boogeyman word. We have one noun, a verb, and a noun. Okay, we have a noun by itself, contextually. That's bad. Shouldn't say it, but it's not imbued with any power outside of historical context. The last noun, Hitler, is imbued with the power of the verb that precedes it. Hail, to praise, to venerate. That'll get clipped, even though I'm condemning the song as anti-Semitic. And not one person here who would be the victim of a more severe call to action is going to say it's anti-Semitic. I think we're in a silly point in this country when we're pulling this clip to condemn the anti-Semitism here at the studio, and people going, hey, can I get a second cut of that N-word, Hail Hitler? That's the point. It's not genuine.
Would you have used the N-word in the way that you just did if you had a black guest with you?
Like Dr. Hill? Sure.
You would?
Sure. And here's the challenge again.
It's not a challenge.
This is the point, right? We're trying to use this as a tool. It's great for broadcast, but bad for the
hang on, Stephen. I think both you and Mark Lamont Hill missed the point of what I was doing there. There was no preconceived idea of mine to do that. I just felt that she was being very cowardly. I felt she was saying, of course I would say it, but I very much doubted she would actually say it. In other words, I thought a lot of it was performative racism. She's an unashamed racist, openly admitted it to, but I didn't think she would actually go through and say it in the way she claimed she would say it.
But do you agree?
Because I thought she was a sniveling little cow.
Yeah, they don't know much about her content because I'm pretty sure she got banned from TikTok for saying the N-word in some of her videos, so.
So it was really calling out her.
All right, I'm going to skip.
Okay, Mark Lamont Hill, welcome back to Uncensored. I saw your reaction in another podcast I think you did.
It's weird. I don't know if I ever realized this before because you guys remember when Steven Crowder was getting ready to debate Sam Cedar, he said that he had little beady eyes behind his glasses, but his eyes are very close together and very small for the rest of his face. Like, he has small beady eyes. This is actually really strange. Like, the rest, it just doesn't fit the rest of his face. I don't know. I don't think I've ever noticed this before.
Podcast I think you did, where you were pretty aggrieved at what you thought I was trying to do there. And just to reiterate to you, in the moment, I was trying to expose her cowardice. And I listened to what your impassioned immediate response.
I think people who are concerned with hate speech laws. But Mantis, you heard the people who were on last night who were talking about the fact that they wanted hate speech laws to make it to where people just couldn't say the N-word at all. So, and we've gone over like the laws the way that you explained it in your country, and we found people who were getting in trouble not just for like super extreme, things, but for even things that I would be against, and just like tiny minor things.
To my challenge, and I immediately realized this would not be a smart thing to do. So it certainly wasn't premeditated. It certainly wasn't from anything other than a place of, you are an unashamed racist who says you say this word all the time, including to black people. I bet you don't. And he'll do the same as to be performative. Let's see if I'm right. And, with hindsight, it was a little ill-advised, but it wasn't me trying to be theatrical or get a viral moment, just to reassure you, because you and I go back a long way. I wouldn't want to deliberately put you in that position. And you very quickly responded and made me immediately realize the peril of potentially doing what I was trying to do.
I would have kicked Mark off. I would have kicked him off. I would have been like, bye, Mark. Peace, bitch. All right, now he's gone. Now say it. Now say it, bitch. Now. Let's go. If I had done that, Myron probably would have jumped up and started screaming it first.
But in relation to what Stephen Crowder says, now look, a lot of what Stephen says, I agree with. I do think we've got to a weird place in society where words and language have been ridiculously over-weaponized and used to cancel people and ruin their lives and so on. I agree with that. But I also think there are certain things and words and phrases which have been accepted by society for quite some time now to be completely unacceptable. And one of them is the N-word.
Yeah, it's strange. If you guys are new here, actually, I have a video of me going and challenging Myron because he said the N-word. And he was calling black people the N-word. Like, with the hard R, just like yelling the N-word at black people. Oh, what the f***? Myron's in here?
Then I won't be able to cancel you. But because I can Paula Dean you, because I can Ryan Garcia you, you won't be making a mockery.
Dude, you're a fucking
right?
nobody.
Hey, Re-Ups, it's fine. I'll finish it for him. You're a fucking nigger. Now shut the fuck up. There you go. You're welcome. You got what you needed. Thank you. You're a fucking nigger. None of you fucking faggots can scare me. I will say what I want to say, and I've been doing this shit for years. It is what it is, man. You guys are a bunch of pussy faggot niggers. You got it right there. Get your clip. There's your clip, assholes. You're fucking
Myron, bro.
Nigger faggots.
You knew I was too nice, man.
What is he doing?
Nigger is behavior. I don't necessarily consider it a skin thing. If someone's acting like an ignorant fucking dumbass, whether they're white, green, black, whatever the fuck, you're behaving like a
What is he doing?
Activities.
After I hear people use demeaning language towards a specific group over and over.
Why is racism bad? Let's ask the real question. Why is racism bad?
Well, because generally it's going to harm that group in some sort of like socio-economic way to where they're less likely to get jobs or less. Oh, what the f***? Yeah, this is from 9 months ago. The initial video that was put out was taken down for hate speech, and I actually got suspended for 2 weeks because of what he said. The initial stream is still totally up and fine, but the video that was posted, that was edited of this, it was up for like a week. It was probably gonna blow out all the views of all my other videos. It was skyrocketing with the quickness, and then it got taken down for hate speech and banned for 2 weeks. So yeah.
Particularly when it's used against black people by white people, right? And this woman, the way this Lily Gaddis sort of...
If I was them, I would press Steven Crowder a little bit to answer why it's wrong to call black people the N-word. I would press him a little bit, because I don't think he's able to give the answers that I gave. I don't think he can actually explain this.
Proudly giggled her way, talking about how proud she is to say it and so on. I found completely repellent and disgusting. But in terms of what Stephen said about, this is heading to a dangerous area if you weaponize words generally. Is he right?
In the abstract, sure. I mean, I think if you weaponize a bunch of words and people don't have the safe space to say what they want or say what they believe, it could be a very dangerous space, because what I find to be offensive, you may not. What I find to be extreme, you may find to be moderate. What I may see as outside the proverbial Overton window, you may not. And so you never want to get into a place, to use Stephen's language, where we're just doing the linguistic whack-a-mole. I agree with that wholeheartedly. But I don't think that's what's at issue here. I think there are a few things. You all said a bunch of interesting things that I want to get at. The first thing is, I guess, to Stephen's initial point about my self-emasculation. At the thought, I wasn't melting down, as some on the right have said, because I was afraid that this boogeyman N-word was going to pop out of her mouth and I was going to fall away. That wasn't the point at all. I think you actually characterized it properly, Piers. I was frustrated not at the looming threat of the N-word coming out of her mouth. It was at the spectacle that I felt like in that moment was being created that was wholly unnecessary. And again, I don't think you were doing it intentionally at my expense, but we're all hosts. There's a moment where you got somebody on the ropes, and we know it's a good moment. We know it's a big moment. And getting a white person to say the N-word, it's like a few good men. It's like, did you order, it's the Jack Nicholson moment, right? If you can get them to do that, that's a big moment. And I get that. I guess my point at the time was, it's not the smoking gun that we think. White people don't lie about using the N-word. They lie about not using the N-word. If she already said, I use the N-word in private. So no one pretends to use the N-word when they don't. So I actually didn't think that we needed that confession out of her. For me, as far as the other point here, I don't accept Stephen's analysis here of the donations to the campaign. Even if he is right that people were donating out of some political reaction to our hypersensitivity as a society, that's the wrong person to do it to. Do it to the person that's getting doxxed because they made a mistake 10 years ago. Do it to the person who rapped the N-word, on Gold Digger, and suddenly it has lost their ability to go to college. There's all kinds of people who we might say, even if we don't agree fully on the context, who we could say, hey, is a better example of the cause. But as you said, Piers, this is somebody who was using the word in the exact context that we're afraid of, or not afraid of, in the exact context that we're frustrated about, in the exact context that we think it's being used in. And so to dump money, almost $800,000 into her coffers, it ultimately rewards her for using that language. Imagine if an arsonist were to set a building on fire, and all three of us agreed that arson should not get the death penalty. I think we probably all agree on that. But if we were to then take $1 million and dump it in their GoFundMe to fund the arsonist's legal defense, and now they get off, is that the right way to do it? Is that the right call? There might be other ways to do it than to fund the person who's
Mr. Crowder has very politely raised his right hand to speak, which I think is a rare example of good manners on this program. So, Stephen, your response.
Well, it's the Canadian. I mean, actually, Dr. Hill and I go a while back on Fox News. And like I said, he's always been a gentleman. And I do accept I saw him on a podcast later explaining that he didn't know who the guest was going to be. This is after the fact. And I have a much greater understanding now. I also get it. I will say, great, now do stabbing. And I think I know what the answer is going to be. Can we both, if we want to find common ground here, agree that, yeah, we really find ourselves at a weird point in this country when a bunch of people are giving to a lady who yells the N-word at a 5-year-old, and a bunch of people are giving to someone who is famous for no other reason than allegedly stabbing an innocent person? I know that we'll say it's because innocent until proven guilty, but this is the information that we have on both of these scenarios at this point in time.
He says famous, but the reason that they're famous is because the right wing blew it up. The right wingers are the ones who made a huge deal about the fact that this kid had stabbed another kid. And so they ran around making a huge deal about it, as though this was similar to like when black people are killed by white cops and just don't get arrested, no charges, nothing happens. Whereas like the black kid was arrested immediately, and they're all acting like they're somehow being oppressed because a black person killed a white person, and they finally have an example of a black person killing a white person. So now they can all run around, oh no, we're being oppressed, it's a genocide, we're getting killed. But outside of that, yeah, there's no reason for him to be famous. But it was the right-wingers just running around making a huge deal about it.
What I'm discussing is the prescription moving forward. And one final thing. Here's the point that I was making that you didn't show in that clip too, was saying that it's racist for someone to say they would prefer to live in a predominantly white neighborhood, or they would prefer to live in their neighborhood, which is not black, I believe is what they said. And I don't believe it was necessarily her. I believe there was a man on the panel who said that. But you do. And I'm not going to attribute racism in your heart because only 4% of the population where you're placed in Los Angeles is black. I think we need to stop attributing and imbuing hatred, and I think we need to stop empowering them. But we do find ourselves at a point in this country where neither of these give, send, goes would have blown up if it existed 10 years ago. Why? How did we get here?
I actually, well, Mark, I'll get you to respond. I have to say,
because gives and go didn't exist 10 years ago.
In a way, completely different scenario, but how we got here, I think the same blame can be attached to how we got here to what is going on with the reaction to Joe Biden's health news. I made a point last night on X when that story broke. I was staggered by the instantaneous mockery, abuse, glee, ecstasy, desire for him to die that poured out in response to my tweet revealing this news about him having aggressive advanced stage 4 prostate cancer metastasizing to his bones, which is clearly an incredibly serious situation for a man of his age. And I just made the point, the guy served his country for 50 years, whatever you think of it, this is the moment just to wish him well, isn't it? The answer was no, and has carried on being no for the next 24 hours in the most stunningly abusive, horrific, ghastly manner, totally inhumane to me. And I think the common theme, Stephen, of the two things is social media. Social media has, I think, inflamed social and racial tensions to a point where people just don't think the normal rules of society apply. They can be as disgusting and inhumane and racist and sexist and whatever they want to be as they like, with no accountability in almost every case. And we've become almost neutralized to that kind of thing. And part of the problem is that when people like you and me, and Mark, I'm sure, launch staunch defenses of the right to free speech, the wrong ears take it as the right to be openly racist and all these other things with no accountability. They misunderstand what free speech actually entails. It doesn't mean you're never going to be held accountable for what you say. When Shiloh Hendricks said that she said the N-word, whatever, this was her right to free speech. Yeah, but everybody else has a right to hold you accountable for it. And it's the second part of that equation, which is, I think, important. So, Stephen, your response to my thesis.
Yeah. Yes, I disagree. I think social media is a part of it, but I also don't think that we're dealing with an accountability culture as far as the country. I think we're dealing with a false accountability culture as far as the media and those in the establishment. You have myself, for example, who was demonetized, throttled on YouTube for simply using the term lesbi queer, someone who referred to themselves as a lesbi queer. It was a quote. Then moved over to Rumble, and after the exodus, Diageo, in charge of 80% of the world's advertising, told Rumble that it wasn't enough to demonetize myself, but that they wouldn't spend $1 of
that was kind of funny. There was I'm sure a lot of you guys remember this, but there was a huge drama with Steven Crowder and some guy from Vox, where it was a gay guy from Vox who did refer to himself as like a lesbian queer. It was like his bio, like on Twitter, said that he's like a lesbian queer, that he was he used like I think he might have called himself a beaner, like he called himself like all these things in his bio. And so then when Steven Crowder referred to him, he's like, so this guy is, and then kind of like read his bio. And dude, this guy got so upset. He's like, I can't believe this racist, homophobic piece of shit called me a lesbian queer and a beaner and blah, blah, blah. It's like, you did call yourself that, bro. You did call yourself that. Like, to be fair, like, if that's your biography, like, that's your description of yourself in your bio, like, of course, that's how other people are going to describe you as well when they're trying to, like, that's what the bio is there for. Like, if other people want to go and see who you are and they want to tell other people about who you are. Lots of times if I introduce people on my show and I bring them on, I'm just going to, like, read their bios off and be like, yeah, so this is somebody who's, does politics. They cover, social events, and they're engaged in a lot of debates. Like, I'm just going to read their fucking bios off. And, yeah, if he was on my show, I would have read. So this guy is, a reporter for Vox. He's a lesbian queer who's an outstanding beaner in the journalistic community. Like, I don't know. Like, I would have just said the fucking shit that's in his bio as well. But yeah, I don't know. If you don't want people calling you them, don't put it in your bio. Like, what the fuck? But that's not to say. The problem is that Steven Crowder had a lot of other, like, sexist, like, homophobic, racist shit. One of his shirts, they were getting upset that there was a lot of leftists who were running around with shirts. Who was the guy who had, yes, the figs thing, yes. It didn't say God hates figs. It said I love figs, or like fig trees or something like that. But it had like a star where the eye would have been, and yeah, it was. And it was trying to make it look like they were saying the F slur, and that is what they were doing. Like, they were trying to call people the F slur. And so yes, he had a bunch of like really fucked up shit at the time that made it very different from the way that he said it. Let's see. Socialism is for figs. And it's got the limp wrist on it. I forget what this guy's name is. He was a socialist leader in like Central America. What was his name again? Che Guevara, yeah. So Che Guevara, they were mad that like all these leftists were wearing these Che Guevara shirts and crap like that, and so they made a shirt that said socialism is for figs, but it's not a star there, it is a fig leaf. So they put a fig leaf there because apparently the fig tree was like one of the big like problems for Che Guevara and the falling of socialism in this country. So
of advertising on the entire platform, an alternative platform to YouTube, unless I was removed. You've had entire governments trying to remove platforms for freedom of speech. This is not the accountability that people in the streets are calling for. What is being called for example, from people in the media, is a lie. They would rather hear a lie than the truth. And so you have people checking out. For example, someone's afraid to say, could be my black neighbors, but it's anecdotal. I'm not supposed to say the black friend thing. Move to the same neighborhood I have because it's safer and there's a stronger sense of community. But if you want me to lie to you and say, I picked that neighborhood and it just so happens to be more mixed or more white, but my neighbors are...
yeah, anyways, the point is that even if the thing is in his bio, the problem is that Steven Crowder just comes off as a very hateful person and somebody who has a lot of bigotry towards people. So it's like, you know, people can be understandable if you're just reading somebody else's bio or the way that they describe themselves and things like that. That can make sense. But if Nick Fuentes says this shit, it's totally different. It's very different context. It's a very different scenario now, and that is what was happening when fucking Steven Crowder's reading this shit off. It's just very different now. It is not the same thing.
Former Dallas Cowboy, you can demand a lie, but the media is demanding the lie, not the American people. I am in no way concerned going down to a black neighborhood because I do it to the tune of hours, hundreds of hours of footage and hundreds of millions of views discussing these issues. The challenge I run into is when someone else, a third party, wants to play a game of telephone and tell them that it's racist.
He fell off though, right? I haven't heard about him in forever. Crowder, not really. I mean, dude's got like 5 million subscribers now. That was like a jumping off point for him. Like that was like a huge moment for him. And I think he only blew up because of it. I don't think it hurt him whatsoever. Yeah, 5.69 million subscribers.
Entire thing was the removal of patriarchy. So if you're going to be a victim class, even though you outnumber men, but you're still the victim class, right? Well, then who are your victimizers? Well, it can only be men, right? So if men are in charge of systems, that's what patriarchy is. So women, when you're talking about feminism and covert feminism, you see right-wing women do this all the time, where they try to get an egalitarian caste, right? We want egalitarianism with men at the highest echelons, highest levels.
So, yeah, he has all of his views split up between different platforms. This is 84,000 views, 59, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000. But I think his main platform now is Rumble. Oh, I clicked on Dr. Disrespect's channel. So yeah, here's 305,000 views, 900,000 views, 756,000 views, 798,000 views, 752,000, 137,000, 379,000 views. Like, this is and all of these are premium, so you actually have to be like subscribed and shit. Yeah, he's got a lot of 900,000 view plus shows on here. This one's 1.73 million. What was the name of the journalist that he was going after at the time? Does anybody remember? Carlos
This
Maza.
is what Mr. Gay Vox wants to do. Mr. Let's Be Queer from Vox.
This is one of the many comments conservative YouTube host
See, he's wearing the shirt.
Steven Crowder has made about journalist Carlos Maza. Maza hosts a show called Strike Through that looks at politics and the media on Vox's YouTube channel. But for years, he says he's been mocked by Crowder for being gay and Hispanic.
The stuff he was saying had nothing to do with my political views. He was calling me a lispy queer and a sprite and a fairy, and he called me a gay Mexican, and he would routinely make fun of the way that I spoke and just do gay impressions. He made kind of gruesome sexual comments about me.
Maza says he tried to deal with the abuse privately and flagged the videos to YouTube, but claims the company did nothing. So Maza edited together some of the clips where Crowder mentioned him and tweeted it. YouTube has since released a lengthy statement saying that while, quote, individually the flagged videos did not violate our community guidelines, however, in the subsequent days, we saw the widespread harm to the YouTube community resulting from the ongoing pattern of egregious behavior.
Yeah, he got demonetized. That's why he's moved over to Rumble. He still does some stuff on on TikTok. Tom debated Destiny on it too. Wait, what did I debate him on? I'll never forgive Wilson for him Destiny J6 debate. I lost 3 hours. I'll never get back. Well, I talked to both of them about it. I thought both of them had some fucking weird takes on it, but yeah, I think obviously Destiny was like way more correct in that debate than Andrew Wilson was.
Took a deeper look and made the decision to suspend monetization. Quote, in order to be considered for reinstatement, all relevant issues with the channel need to be addressed, including any videos that violate our policies, as well as things like offensive merchandise, the statement read in part. Crowder has also been removed from the YouTube Partner Program. Crowder did not respond to Inside
The YouTube Partner Program just means being monetized. That's it.
Edition.com's request for comment, but addressed YouTube's decision on his show. He said that his comments were harmless and he is a victim of forces that seek to silence him. Crowder's
I monetized my channel on TikTok. I think I'm probably gonna demonetize it. Honestly, I think I'm probably gonna get rid of it. I'm not I feel like there's probably gonna be like higher standards on there than there already are. And so yeah, I think I'm gonna take the monetization off on TikTok. Seems pointless.
says YouTube took down some of his videos as part of its broader crackdown on hateful and supremacist content, but believes what he said are jokes.
Keep in mind, for context, out of those thousands of videos, at least a few hundred are ours.
Yeah.
They didn't make a delineation between white supremacist and jokes.
For Maza, who said he's received death threats and had his personal information published online, the harassment and the threat of potential violence are all too real. Maza says allowing language like this will make LGBTQ people leave YouTube.
I hope that YouTube recognizes that the end result of this is not some happy medium. It's a place where only bullies operate. If the teacher never intervenes, the kids who are getting bullied at the playground will leave the playground, and that's what's happening to YouTube.
This is Inside Edition.
So yeah, it was a whole thing.
You can go and watch. I had not one, not two, but 10 people in this installment say, yeah, I think all lives matter. I think anyone who says that's white supremacy is out of their mind. They don't speak for us, the black community. I'd never know that unless I had that conversation with them. Very few people are doing it. You're demanding a lie of people.
Okay, Mark, your response.
Lots of things. Again, first, I think Stephen is, and I don't assign to you any ill intent, but you're comparing apples and oranges here when we talk about the Carmelo Anthony and the racist woman, I can't think of her name, video.
Lily Gaddis.
I think, as you pointed out all day,
Hendricks,
no, not Lily Gaddis, but
you're talking about Charlotte Hendricks,
yeah. Charlotte Hendricks, yes. When you talk about context, I think we have to look at context in the context even of these GoFundMes, right? The people who are funding Carmelo Anthony, you can tell this from the comments, this isn't my guess, they're not saying good job. They're saying we don't believe that you're guilty. We don't believe that you've gotten a fair legal process. And so we're sending money to make sure that you get a proper legal defense because we don't believe that you are guilty of this crime. That is what they're saying. Now, you and I may look at the evidence and come to the same conclusion or a different conclusion, but they're not attempting to reward.
Will you publish the TikTok debates? Yeah, I'm probably going to publish some of them, especially. I still need to go through the other one. There's a there's one that I have that I still didn't publish. Shit, I don't know where it is. Fuck. Yeah, there were a bunch, I forget what it was, but I went on a panel the other day and there were a bunch of people who were like screaming and yelling at me the entire time. And I recorded it from my side, but my audio wasn't there. And so, other people sent me the recordings afterwards, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where it is. Shit. I thought that I downloaded all of this. Fuck. Let me see. Let me find this.
Yeah, I was saying when I said that to Jaden last night, I was trying to offend Jaden because he'd been offensive the whole time.
So
but
you
I
were
wasn't
trying to
the people
offend
here.
Jaden. So you were trying to offend Jaden by using a racial slur, yes or no?
Wait, I didn't use a racial slur. What do you mean?
Okay, which
I said the R
slur?
word.
I know you got a lot of. Oh, okay, you were using an ableist slur. Okay, I'm sorry. You got a lot of slurs floating around there in that head of yours. So
There's a
it's
lot
hard to
more
keep
that
up.
we can go over if you want to.
Oh, I would love to hear.
I didn't know I said that. Oh, that's good, dude. That's fucking hilarious.
All of your justifications for using slurs.
I don't believe you. You haven't given me a chance this whole time.
Yeah, she keeps saying, "Oh, I would love to hear you say all of your justifications." I'm like, I don't believe you. Every time you've asked me a question, you've immediately muted me as soon as I start talking. So I don't believe that you would love to hear my justifications for these things.
Love it. I would love if you would, on a recording, explain your justification for.
She keeps saying this over and over. Also, remember, I am recording this. Like, she was so fucking pretentious, dude. At one point, she starts telling me I'll never make another dime on the internet. And while she's saying that, my entire fucking, I've made way more money, like, on just the few seconds I'd been on her live than everybody else. Like, while you're on people's streams, they can donate money to the other, to the people who were on there with them. And when I jumped in, she had 2 viewers. And then within 10 minutes, she had like a couple hundred, and I was just like growing in how much money had been donated to me. And I think, from what I remember, I think the most that anybody else had was like maybe 1,000 or something like that. And then the second most was like 200, and I was up above like 3,500. Like I'd made way more money than anybody else. She kept saying, "You will never make another dime." Who is this? Hold on, let me see if her name's on here. Amanda Says Things.
To make people angry for the cause.
Not for the cause. For my personal benefit, but
for your personal. So hold on. For your personal benefit, meaning
that when he's over and over being very condescending and rude and using all these other things like how bald I am or calling me dumb or all these other things, obviously I'm going to respond to try to offend him as well. Well, obviously he was insecure as well. Yeah, if you think if you think insults means that he's insecure, then I would agree.
So yeah, so they're saying because I insulted him, I'm insecure. So I'm like, okay, so then he's insecure too. I mean, that's fine.
no. There's an insult. There's a difference between an insult and a slur.
No, there's literally not. There's literally not. What the fuck? Define slur. Slur, speak words, speech, indistinctly. Perform an insinuation or allegation about someone that is likely to insult them or damage their reputation. Whoa! So yeah, no. There's not a difference between an insult and a slur. Slurs are just insults. Now, that's why we have different types of slurs. So we have like homophobic slurs that are about like some immutable characteristic about your sexuality. Or we have racial slurs that are about, again, an immutable characteristic about your race. But those are different types of slurs. Slurs are just insults in general.
Right, but she's saying insecure because of the insult.
She, right, my pronouns are they, them.
I'm sorry, they. I'm sorry, that's
they have corrected you about twice now.
Right, because
They did correct me twice. Like, I kept saying the wrong pronoun. Their pronouns were they, them. And I did forget who. Because I couldn't even tell sometimes who I was talking to. Or who was talking to me. So I'm just trying to respond, but I can't, I couldn't really see who I was speaking.
Like to be toxic. You like to get a rise out of people, right? So when
sometimes,
when you deem someone lesser than you, you're insecure. Like, who cares if you're bald? Grow up.
If you deem someone lesser, I don't know where the fuck this came from.
Like, grow a pair. Seriously, nobody gives a fuck if you're bald.
Literally.
And if
who cares if I say slurs?
Shut up.
If that offends you,
shut your fucking mouth. What if it's your?
Why are you so sensitive to where if I say a slur, you get offended? Get over it. What the fuck?
Wait, are you sensitive?
If that
offends you.
Dude, shut the fuck up for a second.
You're doing exactly what I want you to do. Let him, honestly, let him. I'm right. I am the trans non-binary person that is speaking to you right now. So knowing that, as I make you angry, let whatever you want to say fucking flow. So you are toxic, you're unhealed, and you deem it necessary that when you see someone lesser than you, you use a slur, which you're equating what that is supposed to mean to.
Again, they're saying that they're lesser than me. That's their opinion, okay? I didn't say that they were lesser than me. Their opinion is that these people were lesser than me, okay? That's fair enough. You can feel however you want. That is not my opinion. But they feel as though these people are lesser than me. Okay.
An insult in the first place. It's like using GAY as a slur. Like, why do you deem those things bad and those things as like an insult? Like, why is that the first thing you go to? Because you see those people as the least in your mind, right? They're lesser humans than you. You feel like you're superior. But how can you be so superior when you're so fucking insecure about being fucking bald?
Well, I'm not insecure about being bald.
It's not that serious. You just said if by being bald, you're like one of those guys. You're like one of those guys that's constantly like, nobody knows. You
literally just said, she doesn't know what I said. So she just moved on. You literally just said, and you know what else? I didn't say it. I never said I was insecure about being bald. I never said anything about
what it's like to be short. Like right now, like you're that sensitive to where if someone insults you, you automatically go to a fucking slur.
What if? Oh man, I'm so heated right now.
Well, baldy is a slur again. Like that is a slur. So I don't know why somebody calls you a slur, you call them a slur. Yeah, that is what I'm saying. Yep.
I used a lot of other insults before the slur.
Like
I didn't
what?
automatically go to
Like
it.
what? Like what?
I called him an idiot.
She's like, you automatically go to a slur? I'm like, no, I didn't automatically go to the slur. I said lots of other insults first. It wasn't automatic.
I called him stupid. I used a lot of other words.
What is the Tom? What is the definition of a slur?
So, I mean, technically, it's a word that's an insult.
Just a word that's an insult?
Yeah, then there's others that are like slurs that are specifically for immutable characteristics as well.
Can you name a few other slurs?
Baldy.
Baldy is a slur.
Yeah, it's an insult based on an immutable characteristic.
Tom, do you think that for some reason, because Mercedes was on your live, you're safe?
The behavior.
What does that have to do with?
They all keep bringing up Mercedes. I think that is like why I bother them so much is because I went on to Mercedes' show, or maybe because she came onto my show. But they are all so upset with me, and maybe it's because I talked to Mercedes, but that's why like I keep telling them, like, guys, when I went on our show, I didn't even know her. Like that was the first time we ever met. She kept saying, like, you're so refreshing. This is cool. Like it was very clear we didn't know each other. Now we've spoken since, yeah. She came on my show. We've had conversations. I like Mercedes. I like Mercedes, and I like the people from Unfuck America tour. But they're all like very upset with me because of these things. You are not safe. The TikTok mafia is after you, bro. Yeah, she said numerous times, after this live, you will never make another dime on the internet. Like, okay, well, I've made a lot more money on the internet since then. I've made a couple $1,000s on the internet since then. So I'm sorry if this didn't go to plan.
Why would that be
because Mercedes? Do you think that Mercedes being on your live and admitting that she's a bag of shit too is going to like protect you from the community that you are attacking? The communities. Let me correct that. That is with an S. That you are attacking?
Y'all are 2 years away from becoming the right. Bro, the leftists have always been this way. They've always been this way. This is not a new thing. We didn't move to the left. And not know that people were like this? We were well aware the whole time. We all know. We moved to the left anyways. We are on the left knowing that these people exist. We just know that they are a minority within our on the left. They are a minority on the left. But that's this is just like, again, like Nick Fuentes, Groypers, alt-right people, like all of them continuously attack conservatives, saying that they're not as conservative as them, or that the GOP is, the GOP is all a bunch of fake conservatives, and that they're not far right enough, and blah blah blah. Like this exists all over the spectrum.
Because I promise you, it is not. And every single word that you say, you are digging yourself deeper and deeper and deeper. Because you won't just say, I was wrong.
I did say that.
I did say that. The first thing I said the first thing they said when they invited me on, they're like, "Why did you defend using the R word?" I was like, "I didn't defend it. I apologized." They're like, "No, don't say that." I was like, "I did though. You can go watch it." They're like, "I don't care. I don't believe you." I'm like, okay, that's different. That doesn't mean I defended it. You can say you don't believe me. I meant it honestly, but I said that I apologized for it. I never defended using the R word. It didn't happen.
Really?
Yes.
So you're wrong. So you're wrong in using the N word.
Yeah, yes. As I said, if I'm offending people, I'm not meaning to.
No.
I'm not offending.
Hold on. That's the beautiful part that I know a lot of people are hearing, but I just want to make sure we get it on recording. If I am offending people, if I do that big IF, You are. And the fact that you cannot reconcile and accept that, and you keep saying, well, if I'm doing this, and if I'm doing this, and oh, woe is me, is what makes you a fucking joke. And you will never, ever be any kind of leader in this space. So, your other
I am a leader in
option-
this space.
You're not.
That's why you're upset right now.
You're not.
That's why you're upset right now.
No. I'm not upset.
You look
I am
upset.
so.
She looks very upset. I don't know. She's doing a lot of clapping and a lot of like. She seems very upset.
Overjoyed. I cannot. Genuinely, hear me out, y'all. This feels like Christmas because I get to hear you say it in a recording, and I get proof.
Say what?
That you don't care if you use slurs. That you don't
didn't say that.
care.
I didn't. This didn't happen. I never said these things.
That it's if you have.
Can we see? Like I said, I'll turn it into a video, but I can't. There's not a way for me to like stream what's on my phone to my computer. Here's another part here.
Where if someone insults you, you automatically go to a people. Someone tells you.
And I get proof.
Say what?
Different degree of harm in saying like someone's bald compared to like making an AIDS joke about someone who has HIV.
100%. Yes, of course.
You recognize there's like a larger degree of harm there.
100.
These people are so dumb, dude. They're so dumb. So they'll ask me like, "What is a slur?" I say what a slur is. They ask me, "Okay, what's another type of slur?" I say baldy. But now they're like, "Do you don't understand that there's a difference between saying the N-word and a bald joke?" It's like, no, wait, I didn't say there's not a difference. What the fuck? Where is this coming from?
100%.
Okay, so like where do you draw that line? And you only draw that line if someone tells you that they were personally hurt or harmed. Like, how does that line get drawn for you?
So obviously sometimes people are signing up for those sorts of things, right? Like there's people who are like go to roasts, right? And they're purposefully going there. People go into spaces that are purposefully toxic, that are not safe spaces, that are there to kind of push the barrier a bit. Then they kind of know that these are not safe spaces that they're in. When you're in public on the internet, like these are all not safe spaces. And so obviously there's a bit more to the boundaries that exist. But
okay, but like you do recognize that when you're like on.
See, I didn't even get to answer the question of like where I draw the line, because I'm trying to give context that there's different lines in different places based on different context. There's different scenarios. There's different things that different people will find acceptable. There's different surroundings and different environments to where, like, if you're out in public, obviously saying things publicly and on a stage, on a live stream, these are going to have very different consequences to them. You're out, like, encouraging people to say words like this or kind of demeaning groups of people like this out in public versus if you're just, like, in private with a few people. These are different scenarios, saying different things, doing different things. These, but yeah, I didn't really get to, like, lay that out because they're not actually interested in like hearing what I believe. They just want to accuse me of things and just run with the caricature of me that they've made up in their head.
Larger platform, and you're doing something like making AIDS jokes. It's not really about people making HIV and AIDS jokes without anyone with HIV present. It's at the expense of further stigmatizing those people who already functionally live as second-class citizens based on the laws and policies in this country.
My mic.
So you just do that because it's fun to blow off steam and then further stigmatize a group of people who already have a self-unalive rate 100 times greater than the general population?
No, I think that, yeah, again, I don't think that they should tell jokes that are going to further stigmatize different groups, of course not.
You just said there's a space for that kind of joke, and I'm assuming that means you like to engage in those spaces because it's what?
Yeah, this is so dumb.
A mentally disabled person his entire life. I think what, you know, Tom is really missing, and I'm really speaking more towards the community now that Tom is fostering in these comment sections in his own community. It's people who don't think they're harming people. You take their own life and dehumanized. That I was.
I'm saying that I've said it for a long. I've said it for a long. Look, I totally get where you guys are coming from. I agree with you, and I've said you are correct, and this is something.
Fuck, it's glitching out.
Correct, and this is something that.
You know Mercedes? You know Mercedes, the person that you just... You are scared. You are scared. You are scared. You had no idea.
We're scared.
You had no idea. You had no idea what you were walking into. You had no idea. You thought you were just walking into some...
Oh, I said I was...
She's muting me over and over. She won't let me respond. So she just keeps muting me. So I keep unmuting myself and yelling.
Thought you were just walking into some little Trump live. You thought you were just gonna like own the Trumpies. What, in honor of who? Yourself? To get some clout? But you walked into
Crazy,
this
I'm
live.
out.
You, of course, you to
Crazy,
this
I'm
live.
out.
You, of course, you are a big strong man. Of course, you are a big strong man.
She's so willing to like reinforce toxic masculinity and keep doing this like, oh, big strong man. Oh, you're not a big strong man. You got to be a big strong man. You got to be real big and strong. Like, she keeps doing this fucking shit over and over and over throughout her entire fucking stream. It's fucking disgusting, dude. So weird, bro. These are the weirdest motherfuckers. Like, they are so inconsistent. They are so hypocritical. And if you ask them about the, like, gross shit that they're doing, they're not gonna fucking apologize for any of that shit. They're not gonna be a big, strong man like me and actually sit there and actually say, yeah, I'm wrong. I shouldn't have said this. This is my fucking fault. But, yeah, they're not gonna do that. They're gonna just continue moving on because they have communities that are happy with being fucking hypocrites as long as they can go get an own on somebody that they lied about being a fucking being a racist or some shit. So yeah, well, I'll try to set this up. Let me see. Do we have let's see. Well, doesn't look like it got published. So. Too bad. Yeah, yesterday on TikTok I put out a video, if you guys didn't see it. Or maybe like 2 days ago. I put out a video that's like responding to a lot of the bullshit that these people are making up. And so you can go to my channel and watch a lot of this stuff. My name's Tom Foolery Show. I've been a content creator for years, and there's currently want to get performatively upset about things. So about systemic racism. I'm comment. You're on the internet, bro. A lot of clips about me that they are now going to go forward believing, and they may not see this video. It would be great if other larger content creators who watch this would also kind of promote the fact that these people are lying and that they shouldn't get away with it. There should be some accountability for these people, especially when we're using very serious labels like neo-Nazi, PDF file, racist, white supremacist. I don't appreciate people slandering my name, hurting my brand, or trying to ruin my career just for shits and giggles. So we're going to go over some clips from some content creators who don't respect their viewers. They are willing to mislead these people. So let's start off with this weirdo.
Richard Spencer at any time of the day on site.
The first time I saw, so if you guys don't know, Richard Spencer got like punched in the face in the middle of the street while he was doing an interview. And people started saying, like, punch a Nazi, like it became a common thing. And so he's saying Richard Spencered, meaning like if I'm out in public, he thinks that he can just come up and punch me. I invite him to give it a shot. This guy, he jumped on the Mercedes panel to call out Ray Ray. And I know that this is controversial, but I thought he was doing the right thing. I think that if somebody's platforming somebody, other people should jump on to let them know the type of person that they're platforming. Last night, somebody jumped on, CJX jumped on and was like, and you said that he was wrong for ever calling out Ray Ray. I was like, no, I did not. I specifically said that he was correct for doing it. She's like, no, you put out a video today saying that he shouldn't have done it. I'm like, no, I literally said he was right for calling him out. I've said it. Like, he was correct for calling out Ray Ray. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The type of content that they have out. I think that he was right in jumping on and calling out Ray Ray and letting Mercedes know who this guy was. But then physically threatening him is another issue.
And I swear to God, Ray, and the next time I fucking see you, I will feed you your teeth.
This shows some real psychological problems from this guy. And it seems to be common. You're on the internet, bro. Do you know you're on the internet? What are you doing? The next time I saw him, he was on his own live, holding his phone up to the camera, telling everybody that I said black people were better off because of slavery.
That's the fucking quote that he chose? Oh, no.
And they continued on for a while, referring to me as the guy who said that black people were better off because of slavery. Even just making that claim, purely based off the title, is insanely irresponsible, shows a lack of care for the truth, a lack of critical thinking skills, and a lack of respect for the audience he's so willing to mislead. I was obviously debating someone else who said that statement.
Saying they should be thankful for slavery. People. They should be thankful for slavery.
Then you come work for me. Come be my slave.
Actually,
be my slave.
They should be thankful for slavery. Should they not be thankful for slavery?
No, come thank me. Come be my slave. I'm going to whip you, and I want you to thank me for it.
No, you have to actually do it. People actually did that to blacks.
Yes, I will do it. I promise you. I will whip the hell out of you.
This is empty talk.
I promise you. I will whip the hell out of you.
No, you won't.
I boxed for a long time. I promise you. I can beat the crap out of people all day.
You can't come in here and steal me and make me your slave if you wanted to.
No, I'm not making you your slave. You like being a slave. The video that they're talking about, I'm debating Jesse Lee Peterson's producer about systemic racism. I'm taking the position that systemic racism is very real, and I am debating him, who is saying that it's not real, and he obviously believes some other very wild things.
You can't say, oh, since we brought them here, we have to help them.
No, you can't say we brought them here and therefore they get all of these benefits, so it's so good. But when it comes to the negatives, we're just going to ignore that part. Don't pay attention to that part. They're not. They wouldn't have had them if we hadn't brought them here. It's pinned at the top of my TikTok. It's pinned at the top of my Twitter. It was very easy to find. And even as he was showing this on the screen, his own audience was spamming, out of context, clickbait, play the video. And he continued to reply to comments, just not those. He just ignored those when they were by far the majority of comments that I could see. And then he made a video threatening me.
And Schnazis get Richard Spencered. Richard Spencered any time of the day on site. I just want you to know that. Okay, Tom? I'll be in your neck of the woods soon. I promise.
In the video, he takes a short clip of me from a stream where I'm making fun of neo-Nazis, Roman saluting and goose-stepping around to Kanye West's song. In that video, I was talking about what I call aesthetic leftists. These are people who want... So yeah, go watch that video on TikTok. It's up right now. It's about a 25-minute video. It's right here, the first video. So these three are pinned. This is the one that he's talking about. This is pinned to the front of my fucking TikTok. But yes, these three are pinned, and then after the three pinned, this is the very first one up after that. And then this is the one calling out Peyton. I don't know if you guys saw this, but the guy who initially called out Z for being racist and all of that. That was what's up, guys? Right here. So I'm getting ready to go live in just a little bit, but my internet is still out, so I can only go live on one platform right now. Can't go live on both TikTok and YouTube, but it appears Peyton Van Ness was arrested. Seems as though he's sitting in jail right now.
It seems like he never even fucking cared about us, honestly. I feel like we're all in agreement here.
Sounds like he robbed a black woman a while ago.
Hey, that's fucking illegal. That's really fucking illegal.
Has now been put in jail It looks like he may have a bit of a drug problem.
Dude, now Peyton's out here just asking for money. Like, what? Like,
I'm going to go over a lot of this on my stream. It's going to be over on youtube.com/Tomfoolery Show, going live right now. So if you want to watch, head over to YouTube, youtube.com/Tomfoolery Show. Hope to see you there.
let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's go!
But yeah, the other people were like covering this all day.
Allegedly, Peyton Van Nest
over the
was
last 2 days
arrested. Let's get into today's TikTok tea. I usually stay out of the drama, but I have watched a whole bunch of new people come to TikTok that have created a literal mess out of the left, so let's get going. So here's a story. Peyton is in Georgia. Peyton extended an offer to Jaden.
When he says the people who have made a mess of the left, he's referring to people like me, just FYI.
Jaden and I to go to Georgia for this event as a response to the UNF America tour. It was in the middle of this month. I said no, I couldn't do it. I have a son, so there's no way. And then like a day later, Jaden comes out and goes, there's something off with this. And we were just like, no, out the gate. Anyway, he's in Georgia. Yesterday, he posted a thing saying, hey, I need $10,000 to help get us home because the people that we were working for out of Georgia aren't paying for us to go home, which also is an absurd amount of money. I was speaking with Jaden about it. I was like, $10,000, like $3,000 for 2 people to fly home.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. $10,000 is an insane amount of money to try to get home. I didn't even think about that. That isn't... What the fuck? Yeah, you probably could have gotten home on $500. Why did they need 10,000?
Pretty much coast to coast in America, same day. So why do you need 10 grand? Now the 10 grand gets weirder in a second, but first, apparently, according to Jaden, he doesn't fly. And why is because he's had a warrant out for his arrest since 2024 over a...
From everything that I've looked up, so I did some research on this after last night's stream because we went over a lot of this last night on TikTok. It turns out, from everything that I've seen, you actually can get on planes with a warrant. It doesn't seem to stop you from getting on planes if you have a warrant. So I don't know if that's actually true, but he may have been, that might have been his own paranoia because it seems like he is avoiding flights. It seems like over and over, we have a lot of evidence of him avoiding flights over and over.
A robbery that he committed in Georgia. Now, this information largely broke from this guy whose name's Tomfoolery here on TikTok. And I've got to say, I have never said this about anybody, period. I think, in my opinion, this guy is a right-wing plant. For the purposes of Peyton, it's neither here nor there, but this guy holds some serious right-wing beliefs, came out of nowhere, and is disturbing the entire left by...
I am disturbing the entire left. That part is true. That part is true. I am disturbing all of them. That is a fact.
Creating weird divisions. I don't trust him. Period. But regardless, we have receipts on Peyton, which I'll get into in just a second. Now back to the plot. The interesting part about this $10,000 that he's requested is that he also had a bond amount from a bonding company for $10,000 back in 2022, which he very clearly never fulfilled the obligations of. Also, we were suspect about whether or not he was going to use the funds to get home because maybe he doesn't want to go on a plane, especially if he has an active warrant, which would cause him to drive. So what he actually...
Yes, it is funny because yes, I'm not fucking going in bugging them. I'm not going and like brigading their communities. I'm not going and flooding in. I don't go and share their fucking lives every time they go live and tell my community to go flood into their fucking chats. I don't go and post their fucking clips all over Destiny's community and say, hey, everybody come in and fucking and spam in the chat. I don't go and like bug the hell out of them demanding that they pull me up on their fucking lives. I don't give a fuck about these people. I don't care about them all that much. I'll go and talk about them on my own streams and I'll have some conversations about them. Or if they want to come onto my streams, I'm happy to talk to them sometimes. But I'm not harassing them like they're doing with me. They are making me a big deal. They make me a big deal. They make my lives pop off. They make my lives get a lot of viewers. They make it to where I'm growing. They make it to where a lot of people are seeing me because they're pushing me into the algorithm. And I'm very thankful for it. I appreciate what they're doing for me, and it's been very helpful. It's been a huge blessing, and I appreciate them.
Needs the 10 grand for Couldn't tell ya. Now, at this point, you're probably wondering what's happened. Well, allegedly, Peyton walked into a bank, handed an employee of this loan company, which again is not a bank, a note that said, "Please grab a bag and put all the money in it." So, according to Jaden, Peyton has addressed this and called the charges bogus, and he was going to sue the county, never actually did. So what exactly happened there? Can't tell you, but he did have an arrest. He did have a warrant out for his arrest for failure to appear, and it looks like he was booked as of the 23rd. So today, maybe yesterday, maybe the booking goes in the next day. It's showing up as the 23rd, but he's been booked. At any rate, if people could stop blindly trusting new people that come to the app and agree with you or telling you what you want to hear, by all means, please stop doing that, because it's like one after the other as of late are just awful, awful people. So there's your tea update.
So apparently I have some serious right-wing views. It's not the unserious ones. I got the serious ones. So yeah. But alright, I'm gonna head out. Hopefully I'll be back on tomorrow for a longer stream, and we shouldn't have as many complications, and that should be on earlier. Hopefully. We'll see. But yeah, I've got my power went out today, so I was up for like 24 hours because I did the lives and everything, and then once I got done with the lives, I realized, oh shit, the Comcast people are going to be here in like 3 hours. I can't go to sleep, and so I had to wait for them to get here. Then they were here for like 3 hours. So finally, once they got done and I got to go to sleep, then I finally went to sleep, and damn, dude, I woke up to explosions, like there were bombs going off. Boom! And I woke up, and boom, boom, boom. My power goes out here. Boom, 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 boom. It's, yeah, Transformers just blowing all over the fucking place. It was insane. I could just hear these fucking Transformers blowing. And so my power was out for hours today. It's been weird. It's been rough. So yeah, so I've got a lot of issues that I'm trying to deal with because I need to stream. I need to be able to stream. I need to be able to make money. I need to be able to pay my bills. So I'm hopefully going to be on for a full stream tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be back to our normal schedule. But we'll see. Till then, appreciate you. Oh wait, let me pull this up. Yeah. I honestly can never tell if... Okay. Alright, till then, appreciate you, love you. See you next time, later, fools. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
The problem with Republicans is that they are desperate to find any examples of mainstream Democrats being even close to as corrupt as Donald Trump.
The worst thing that I found with them is MBNA stuff. Hunter got a job with MBNA. That was his first job, literally 2 months out of law school, and all of a sudden he's like an executive board member at this massive banking company that was Joe Biden's top donor almost every single campaign by far. Like second place was like, 1/3 of it. Then he also sold his house to MBNA executives who got like $300,000 back for moving expenses. Like that is like a really serious example of where it looks like there's something going on there. But you're gonna look back at the Trumps and be like, bro, he's not working in the White House like your kids are. Like, it's nowhere close, bro.
Preach.
I don't know why you're holding that camera. If you love camera, why the f*** are you here?
I'm an American. I want to talk to other Americans.
It's not the f*** Democratic Party here now. Marxist Communist Party.
What about him?
Tim Walz.
What about him?
He's a fucking liar. Right? Fucking big liar.
And so is Trump. The things that Tim Walz lies about, they're inconsequential. You're mad that he said something about military. Trump lies about the election being stolen. Trump lies about so many things that are actually important. Even just recently, he lied about the hurricane, saying that nobody came to help and that the governor wasn't answering the phone. And that governor came out and said that that was untrue.
They've got everything they need. They're happy. And these people
That's what the governor said too. The governor also said they got everything they need. I'm sorry, I just don't understand. Like, if the governor literally says that they got everything they need, what else can you ask for? What, are you going to force him to take more help?
Why are you wearing that hat and you're not?
I'm bald. I just wanted a hat with hair. That's all it was. It just happened to say Trump.